Do not adjust your radio dial. You are tuned in to the Mark Order Podcast. Join the Mark Order.
Oh yeah.
Hard fade.
It is. Yo, we're good. It's Wednesday night. Excuse me, you know what that means. It is time for the Mark Order Podcast. Do I sound weird? I feel like I sound weird. It's probably
You
it's
sound
just
a little low.
You're low.
I sound low.
You already got low.
You're low.
Hold on. How about this? Any better? Any better? You know, I checked
You were
all my
fine before the show.
I checked everything. Everything looks good.
Maybe you just need to project.
I'm trying to project. I'm trying. I guess it's not working. What's weird is I didn't change any settings. Everything's really loud in my headphones.
You're better once the music goes away, so that helps.
Well, that's good. Maybe if I get a little bored, I can easily fade myself up and down, but we're not there yet. We didn't move enough t-shirts to buy a board.
Not yet.
Oh, you
Not yet.
unsupportive sons of bitches. No, I'm kidding.
We
So
didn't make
did
enough
get,
money.
We did get screenshots of a lovely gal purchasing both Shining Wizards and
SJ.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks, SJ.
So anyway, it is a Mark Order Podcast here on the Shining Wizards Network. 3 Musketeers in the house tonight. The
Yeehaw.
3 of us. It's the 3 best friends that anyone could ever have.
3 best friends that anyone could have.
Uh,
Yeah.
my best friends.
To be honest, before this podcast, I viewed
Yeah.
myself as a one-man wolf pack.
a one-man wolf pack?
But now
What about a one-man Raven wolf pack? Or wolf pack Raven?
one man wolf pack Raven. I wish I knew the whole speech that he gives on top of the roof, but it's so good. I was a one-man wolf pack just running alone in the wild, but now I got you fellers. How are you fellers?
Good.
I'm a
Good.
And
grand old
let's
flag,
just
I'm a
tell the
high
people what
flying flag.
happened.
Well, we'll get there. Let's talk about fun stuff first. Kate, you were busy this weekend. You went out to a wrestling show?
Was that this weekend? It feels like 6 years ago. Oh God.
It was.
I was
and I-
Wrestle Pro.
yeah, thanks for the invite.
I put it in the Discord.
I'm not okay.
Let's be honest, your wife's in the Discord and she makes the plans.
No, I'm not in the Discord, and I've gone on record saying this before. Excuse me. I took the Discord off of my phone because it was sucking my time on the phone. Like I'd be looking at the Discord because there is so much going on. It's a distractor for me. I had to get rid of it. So I really don't spend much time in the Discord unless I'm sitting here on the computer on the desktop in front of, this podcast. But so Kate, you went to Wrestle Pro.
I did. I hung out with your favorite a lot, CPA.
He's my favorite.
You
How many
love
shirts did he have
CPA
on?
So much. He had on all the shirts.
All of them?
He also, if you're just catching up internet, it's been a real weird fucking day for me. But I was like trying to clear my timeline and was like, hey, send me something silly. And he sent me a video, CPA did, of him singing at karaoke, the Dirty Dancing song.
I've had the
It's
time of my life.
amazing. I will
owe
send
it all to you, cause I.
Yep.
Kate, I can promise you, your day's about to get weirder, so don't worry about it.
I am way more excited about the type of weird that I think it's about to get than I was about how it was before, but it was really, really fun. It was I was like, of course, this is the one he's not at, because it was the only time where it wasn't unreasonably hot in there because the weather was cold and it was not as packed. And Lady Frost was there, so she was probably just like, cool it down.
Oh, Lady Frost is fun. I will say this though, Kate. Now that I lost some lbs, I'm a chilly boy. I don't get overly hot anymore.
Chilly boy.
Your temperature was always due to the size, because even when I was a skinny boy in shape, I was a hot boy.
I think it's because they took part of my stomach out. It's changed my body temperature. Because seriously now, Ryan, I'm fucking cold a lot.
I don't know.
Oh my god, welcome
Looking
to being
hot
a
to
white
me.
girl.
I know, I'm a middle-aged white lady now.
Could I have a jacket, please?
Ooh, I need a fleece. It's so chilly.
Oh, it's so cold out here.
Ryan, I have
really fun.
at my I want to get back to that too, Kate, by the way. But Ryan, just so you know, I used to have, well, I still do, at my desk at work, I have a mini fan. And it used to be because I was sweating all the fucking time. But now it has been relegated as to a hot beverage cooler, because I don't really need it for myself, but I have a super hot cup of tea or something. I'll throw it in front of the fan to cool down.
A hot cup of tea, because I know we got a hot cup of Joe in the chat.
Oh my god!
Pumpkin spice latte. Here it comes from Asian
do.
Joe.
I do like a pumpkin spice latte, but I'm not gonna lie, Asian Joe, they're too fucking sweet. I'm like, put half the pumps
Oh my god,
in.
you really are a middle-aged white woman.
It's just
too
like
sweet.
a little too sweet.
I'm like, how many?
Sweet.
It's Bullet Club Day, by the way.
It is Bullet Club Day. Happy Bullet Club Day.
I didn't get my shirt, and I'm probably gonna make Matt angry because he told me when we went to New Japan I need a new goddamn shirt because the one I have looks like a moo-moo. But anyway, Kate, how was the actual show? I heard there was a big title change.
There was a big title change. LSG's a big loser. And somebody, Vargas, who's great.
Vargas.
It was really fun this time because there were a few people from Excite that were on the card. And at the last Excite show, former gold champion and big fat loser LSG brought some people from WrestlePro to Excite. So I knew a few more people that I realized I did there, which was really, really fun. So he did lose. It was a really good triple threat. I don't know how he was walking the next day. He did a springboard into a steel chair.
Oh, nice.
He did a Canadian destroyer to Moff. It was... I can't imagine fighting Moff and living to tell about it. That guy is ridiculous. But the winner of it was Vargas, who cashed in. They have like a cash-in opportunity.
Got Vargas?
No, not Scott.
Not Scott Vargas, just Vargas.
He's a little little money favorite.
I'm
loves
glad you
Vargas.
said little money, because
yeah.
Little A, for some reason, the cadence of it makes me think of Chef Jarrett. Little A. Sounds too much like double A.
Now, did LSG have his chest caved in by Moff?
Probably pretty close. It was a physical main event because it was also a TLC match. So
Tender Love and Care?
It was a Tender Love and Care match. I don't think Moff is so much into that type of TLC.
No.
There were some brutal
You never know what he
spots,
likes after the match.
It's true, but like match stipulation wise, he's not like, I want to hold you like a baby.
I want to hold your hand.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Lady Frost was awesome. Dasha is very pretty and a great interviewer. And I missed some of the first half of it because I didn't know if I was going to go. That's probably why I also didn't bug you that much. It was a bit of a game time call, as it usually is with me. I'm trying to think of what other matches I saw, but they were really good. Oh, Cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And this guy, Matt Hader, who I had met. He was over from, he has a really cool, like, past couple of months. He is from Australia, and he came over and was like, fuck it, I'm going to see if I can get booked WrestleMania weekend. I kind of had a stake at a WrestlePro, and he's been booked every weekend. I met him at Excite in a tag match that I was not told was happening, and he was really good, actually, with Vargas. And he worked like WrestlePro Alaska, and he was at New Japan when we went too, just like hanging out, and was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm at the ECW arena because he's from Australia. So it was really, really cool. And then I got to hang out with people after, including Shining Wizards Kevin, which was a really actually lovely time. It was very nice to talk to him, though the Devils were not doing very well, so he was sad.
Yes, I was actually going to tell you, I saw your text way later because I was very heavily invested in the hockey game. Didn't work out so well Saturday night. Worked out fine Monday night. So that's all that matters.
Got it.
Well, that sounds fun. Ryan, anything you've been up to that's been fun?
Fun? Nothing fun.
It's Monday and Tuesday night routines.
Well, we'll talk about it.
We'll get there. But no, I mean, my Sixers are still in the playoffs. They lost tonight, but I expected that. They stole their one in Boston. That's all I wanted from them. So, and Embiid won the MVP. So
that was game 2 tonight.
Yeah, so they won game 1 without Embiid, which was a shock. And then I knew they'd be in rough shape the first game he comes back because he hasn't played in a while. They're trying to readjust to his, changing the style a bit. So I expected a loss. So I'm upset about it.
All right.
I didn't even know he played hockey. That's incredible.
Why?
That's not hockey. That's basketball, silly girl.
I know. They gave him the MVP this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of funny, but they should have definitely given it to him last year.
And probably the year before.
Who won it last year? Djokovic, right?
Yeah, he's won it. Djokovic has won it the last 2 years.
He honestly could have won it this year too.
I mean, the thing is, him or Embiid could have won it each of the 3 years.
Yeah.
But to make him the dominant of the two just seems wrong to me. And I know I'm a Sixers bias, but like...
You are.
I still think Embiid's just the better player.
You're like obnoxiously reasonable, though, with sports. It would be so much more fun if I could get under your skin more.
It's the same theory I have with wrestling. I watch it to have fun.
Boo.
Lame.
Be mad.
Well, I was mad Saturday night because I watched the Devils game and they lost.
The Devils themselves? Was
That's
everybody
right.
up there?
Did they go down to Georgia?
No, they went over across the river to the Garden. And I was sitting on my couch. These fucking fraud fans. These goddamn corporate bullshit fuckers. These Ranger fans. Motherfucking them. And then, I was upset because I was like, you don't want to go into a game 7. You just don't. And then game 7 happened Monday and they dominated the fuck out of the Rangers. And the Bruins dropped out of the playoffs. And the Avalanche are out in the West. So the East is open for the taking. Why can't it be my team? So we'll see. Tonight.
Because I don't want it to be your team.
Listen, Ryan. It can be my team. And it will be my team.
It can. Tonight was not your team's night, though.
No. But as I said to
that's the problem with the game 7. Is that the next game can be a big letdown.
It can be. But it's going to be the same thing I said to some people who were texting about it tonight. Do we remember how the last series went? Because the first 2 games, they looked like shit. And then...
Yeah, I remember.
They came together. Kate, you have no idea.
Yeah, remember the first 2 games? I was like, oh my God, the offense isn't scoring things and the defense is not defending things at all.
No.
And they were all the icing, remember?
All the penalties, my God.
Yeah. So many. Everybody was in the box.
So that's been fun. Now, what's not been fun is Tuesday was my official get your ass back into the office day. So today was day 2. of Get Your Ass Back to the Office Day. And I swear, everybody, it must be Get Your Ass Back to the Office Day. And today, I shit you guys not, I was texting you guys because of my travel woes. And I wasn't sure if I was going to see, honestly, any of this show tonight. Can I tell you too, it's normally 2 hours for me to get home from my office in Lower Manhattan to my home. It's around 2 hours. I left my office at, I'd say 10 after 5 so that I can make a 5:50 New Jersey Transit train. So I walk from my office to the PATH train, take a PATH train over to Hoboken, and then usually I have enough time where I can maybe grab a drink, grab a snack, get on the train. I'm sitting for a while, and then we leave and we go. I didn't get on a PATH train until the 8th Hoboken train came through the stop. The 8th fucking PATH train. And to those who don't know the local New York, New Jersey fucking mass transit, the PATH trains come every like 2 minutes.
Yeah, especially during rush hour. There's like, not even a joke. There's one usually behind the next one, like ready to go. Oh my God, Berg's in the chat. Hi, Berg.
What's up, Berg? I couldn't squeeze myself onto a train. The train was so fucking full. I don't know what was going on. And then when I finally saw a train where I was like, this is my shot, it was already past 5, my normal like train home time. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to get the hour later train. But when the time came for me to get on the train, this guy steps onto the fucking subway path and stops. And I was just like, no fucking way. I stepped right fucking up on top of him. And he took another step in. I was halfway off this train. I took another step forward. And he sort of stepped an inch. And I took one additional step just for like
security.
Fucking move, dude. Like, I'm getting on this train. And then he sort of squeezed his way between people to get to the other side of the car. And I just locked eyes with somebody like behind another person who saw what was going on. And I just kind of gave him this look like, you see this fucking guy? What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
And he gave me the nod like, yeah, I see what's happening.
Many an instant like that in my life.
So I finally got to Hoboken to take my train. I thought I was going to have to take a 6:50. I was able to get on a 6:33. We took off, and then I didn't even make it to the first station, and our train was sitting on the tracks for like 25 minutes. No joke.
Did they say why?
They said it was an air issue. Don't know what that means. But they did say, they did give an update once we started moving. They said, folks, there was a tiny like pinhole leak in something, but for a pipe that connected a car to something else. So we've plugged it with some wooden stoppers. Hopefully it holds. So I wasn't confident I was going to really make it home.
Nope.
I was like,
nope. Also,
great.
you don't have to show them how the sausage is made, man.
Exactly. And then I also didn't realize that train that I got on was a local. So I made every fucking stop. I did get in my house around 8:30, but I was watching Dynamite on my phone.
I am glad, because when we spoke earlier, you were like, maybe 9:30.
Seriously, I was not feeling good. I was
Not
like,
great.
this is going to be fucking forever.
Not great.
Those were my travel woes today, and I'm very happy to be here. Because
I'm happy to be here too. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a minute. Tomorrow's gonna suck for me because I gotta get up and go back to New York City.
Woof.
But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I don't think we've done this show. Now this should tell both you guys something. Kate, we did this as bonus content before we spun off to our own thing. I haven't been to an office since we started doing this show.
Dang.
Right?
Same.
Wow.
So this is the first time I'm coming home from an office and I have to go back to an office tomorrow after doing this show.
Yikes. Give them hell.
It'll be fine because I normally stay up till 3 a.m. anyway.
I know
But-
you're a maniac.
I don't know. Anyway, glad you guys are doing well. Glad we're here tonight. Glad the chat is active.
Can I tell you something I'm not glad about?
Well, wait. If you're talking about Rampage, or don't talk about the other stuff yet. Don't talk about the other stuff yet.
It's not. It's
Kate,
not
did,
about that.
did you have to listen? Did you happen to listen to last week? I forgot. I wanted to get
No,
your
I
opinion.
actually didn't.
Okay. So
Normally
Kate,
I knew, but I didn't.
Ryan, I'm pitching Kate on what you said is already a good idea, and some people gave instant feedback and said it's also a good idea, but I want Kate's take.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah,
Kate.
this is a great idea.
We were watching the show last week, me and Mrs. Money on the couch. And when Roddy Strong came out, she made a comment about, Salt and Pepper, Roddy Strong, Kill Switch Engage. Then she found out that he used to come out to some weird combo of like Bleeding Through and the Misery Signals. So she's like all in on Roddy Strong as a boyfriend. But she also said something about Christian and Jay White. And I don't remember how we got onto it, but the idea was spawned. I'm being
Because I'm here, so FYI, be nice.
I am being nice. I'm being very nice. I'm pitching Kate the idea that we're already going to pretty much do. But, so Kate, somehow we came up with an idea of a bonus show once a week, me and Mrs. Money, where I go through the AEW roster and she gives her take on where these men fall on her boyfriend list. Because we've talked about that before, trying to keep track of the factions, who is, who isn't, why not?
I mean, I had initially thought doing like a rankings of boyfriends would be good so that they could like move up and down the rankings. And because I just love the rankings so much, I miss them.
I wish they'd bring them back.
But if they need to go more in depth, you could do like you just made the list thing with Gina. I also just love the idea of her doing that show with her husband.
Yeah, I'd basically be asking all the leading questions.
I love it.
Sloan actually came up with a good name, like a good name, and we're gonna buy it. I'll have to send her a T-shirt. We're probably gonna alter it just a hair to throw AEW into the title somewhere. But Sloanamite came up with The Many Men of Mrs. Money.
Oh my goodness. That's beautiful.
So Kate, you buy that idea.
1,000,000%.
All right. So at some point,
you could also do Mrs. Money's Many Men. If you could say it.
Then we don't have to pay Sloan. Then it's just similar thinking. No, yeah. So, all right. So here's what we're going to do.
Wait, can I say what I'm annoyed about?
Yeah, real quick. I'm just going to tell you, Kate, here's what we're doing. I already told Mrs. Money, and I think this annoyed her, but I'm like, we got to do a test show because we got to watch the clock. These are going to be the reason we're watching the clock tightly on this, Kate, is because we have to have a lot of bonus content, right? So it's going to be 1 hour increments going through the list.
I almost feel like it should be, dare I say, even shorter because I don't want you to burn through the whole roster. You know what I mean? Like maybe you should do like a retrospective.
I'm telling you, 1 hour, we're going to be lucky to get through 2.
Okay, touche. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I didn't even realize they had a roster on the website.
I'm most looking forward to what happens when she runs into a luchador. Because what do?
That is.
This is why. Okay, Tony Khan, you got to clarify the ROH and the AEW rosters right now because of this.
I did go look at the AEW roster because that also crossed my mind, but it's just AEW wrestlers. Or I went to look at the Ring of Honor. Yeah, sorry. But it's all just AEW wrestlers, so it doesn't really work. But all right, then it's gonna happen. It's
Oh.
yes, Marky Mark kayfabe. It will be a series. That's the goal. It'll be a series of bonus shows. I'll even give it its own list on. I'll even give it its own playlist on our YouTube.
As you should.
It's gonna be a lot.
This is gonna get 4 million views.
It's gonna be our biggest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, this.
All right, Kate. What grinds your gears? What makes you sad? And if you say anything about Dark, I'm gonna hit you.
No, it's not about Dark.
Okay, good.
It's
What makes you
about
sad?
figures.
What about figures?
I have to get some. I had
Why?
ordered some.
You
Because-
ordered some? Why?
I don't care about figures. You know this. I love and appreciate the ones that have been gifted to me, including my dear Eddie Kingston from you. But I'm not like a figure gal. I don't
Mhm.
need the duels in my life. However, when Ringside
Oh.
Collectibles
I know what you got.
says there's going to be a dog collar series, I didn't even look at the price yet before like putting
Yeah.
my credit card in. And they look like, for the pictures, awesome. And the MJF ones have looked good and the CM Punk ones look good. So
Yeah.
I'm optimistic about it. But I was like, I'm not this person. I don't just hand over my credit card without evaluating whether it's a good financial decision or not. I just
don't
got
open-
myself out of debt.
Don't open the. Oh, you're okay to have some debt. You're fine.
No. I'm good though.
How
I
many
was
did
just,
you
I
order?
saw it. It was like, yep.
How many did you order?
Just one of the full series.
So, are you gonna let them breathe, or are you gonna leave them in the box?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, we lost Ryan. Oh no! Oh no! We
Yes.
lost Ryan. Oh, thank God.
I mean, oh.
Oh.
Oh
Oh
no.
no!
You're
Somebody
doing it
phone him.
so
Oh
well.
no!
Oh no.
Someone phone him.
You sound a little bit like oh, I'm what's his name? Something Snow. And forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Something.
Oh, is it-
Oh,
Oh, I'm
I'll
out of
just-
Snow.
bullshit.
Potion.
Yeah, the reason I asked Kate is it's a sound investment if you leave it in the box.
I think I probably will. Because I don't
Keep
see a great need to take them out of the box.
Keep it out of the sun and keep it in the box.
Keep it out the sun. Ah.
If you see all this stuff behind me, that's all stuff still in boxes that I have to
Yeah,
I have to catalog and put them away.
it looks like you're in a storage unit.
I kind of am. I've done it to myself. There's more stuff over here, over there, whichever way I'm pointing on the camera. Yeah, there's a lot of shit. All right, why don't we do this? Well, let's talk a little bit of wrestling. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about Rampage. We're gonna move on to a very special segment. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna talk about Dynamite.
Okay.
If everybody's okay with that.
Yeah.
If you out there are listening, stay tuned. We have a very special segment coming up.
Yeah.
So guys, Rampage was Friday night. Special start time, 5:30. No, 6:30. Now here's a question I had for you guys. They did market it as 5:30, right? Why was it then 6:30? Does anybody know? I'm serious. This is a real question. I'm not.
Did the sports run late?
No, there were no sports on before it. Ryan, you're muted. I don't know what happened, but you're muted.
We
Oh.
can't hear you.
He's like a
My
silent
favorite
movie
version of
star.
Ryan. It's the best.
It's like watching Mel Brooks' silent movie.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
guys.
All right,
Oh, he's back.
so Ryan, I'm sorry, you were talking when I was posing as to why this possibly went on at 6:30 instead of
Yeah,
5:30.
when he
They
was
didn't tell us.
posing that question.
Yeah, they didn't tell us because I went and turned it on. I said to Little Money, I said, guess what? Wrestling's on tonight and you're going to be able to watch it because it's on before your bedtime. You could watch it during dinner. And I put it on at 5:30 and it wasn't there. And it was not a great position to be in because it was like, hey, where's the wrestling? And I was like, I'm sorry, dude.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So it was on at 6:30. We had Bullet Club Gold kick it off, making their entrance against Ricky Starks and Sean Spears. Bullet Club Gold defeats Ricky Starks and Sean Spears. Could it have gone any other way? No. Absolutely
New.
not.
Not when you have Sean Spears in there.
No, and goddamn Jay White.
Got
Two inferior
Jonathan.
wrestlers.
What?
I'm just hoping Matt listens.
Okay.
I feel like that match should have been something that was on Dynamite.
Yeah, I think
A rescheduled Rampage for Jay White and Ricky Starks. Come on.
Yeah, but part of me thinks that was on purpose. Like, give a really good match before, like, hoping to catch people before they tune in for sports.
No. It just hasn't worked. They put Keith Lee's debut there. They put all these things, and it's like 12 people watched your program. The ratings today were like 290,000 people. It's rough out here.
Listen, Fridays are going to be rough at any time. If they think Saturdays are going to be any better, I think they're in for a rude awakening. I mean, it's just why.
I actually think
Friday
Saturdays at like 6 would probably do decent ratings.
I don't know. They're talking about 8 o'clock.
That's a little tougher.
I don't know. They did brawl.
I mean, not for me. I have no life.
They did brawl after the match. That's true, Ryan. We can replace one thing with another.
No, but I'll get there.
We had our little segment with Isaiah Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy was missing, and Matt Hardy was upset about it backstage. And then we found out that the firm had Isaiah Cassidy, and they dropped him off a fucking storage rack. Basically, we're just leading to the firm deletion next week. I really don't like these pre-taped fucking cinematic matches, but we'll give it the
It
benefit
makes
of the
sense
doubt.
though to do it on Rampage at least, because you can cut that in.
Of course. Speaking of Keith Lee was on Rampage again, looking a little less gassed than he did last week. Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes defeated Brady Pierce and Charlie James. Quick work there. But then Swerve and the Embassy came out and stared down the baby faces from the stage. Ooh, can I ask you guys a serious question?
No.
Okay. It's not a serious question, but
okay.
The fucking head thing that Swerve's been wearing lately, why?
Fashion?
I know fashion. I don't think.
Yeah, but you have your alley. He's got his own.
Oh, happy Bullet Club Day.
Happy Bullet Club Day to you.
I didn't realize I was wearing the muumuu. That's right. Matt won't give it, but I'll give it, Kate.
Yeah, because you, me, and Clark Connors are best friends.
That's why Matt didn't want to hang out with Clark Connors, if we're being serious.
That's true.
He was like, What else? Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello were backstage. Mello didn't like this MJF thing going on, so we've got that angle happening. We'll talk about it. Anna Jay defeated Ashley D'Amboise,
who signed at AEW.
She is.
Great. She's great.
Good signing.
It is a good signing. After the match was over, lights go out, and Julia Hart's in the ring. When the lights return, and they attack and brawl and blah, blah, blah. I will also say this to you guys. Julia Hart, when she was doing the whole cheerleader gimmick, I was like, what is going on? And this whole turn in persona, first of all, she looks 10 years older in a good way. And and this whole thing works way better for her. I never understand why the cheerleader thing, everybody keeps trying to make it happen. It just never
with
works.
The Varsity Blondes, I feel like it made sense because they came out in their like varsity jackets and stuff. I feel like she actually played both sides of it to a T. This is just a way more interesting place to land, and I was never really in on the Varsity Blondes. Like, I liked Griff Garrison out of that more than Brian Pillman. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? He's still injured, which sucks. But it was just never a tag team I got into. But it worked with the entire like package that they were trying to present. But this was I feel like she's been great. Like, they executed this perfectly of like the good girl just goes to the dark side it took fucking forever to get there, but when they did, it's been pretty much gangbusters ever since.
Yeah, a really good change for her. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass come out doing the rap shtick, and then they defeat 3 local talents. And then we're basically into the main event. Jay Lethal, one half, Ryan, of Kate's favorite tag team of all time, Big Gap.
Yes.
Who's second on your list?
Oh, favorite tag teams of all time?
Yeah, we have
Techno Team 2000.
no.
It goes Jay Lethal,
Oh,
Double
God.
J,
There you go.
the Ass Boys, then Techno Team 2000.
Yeah.
And High Energy somewhere down there.
Yeah, High Energy's right. They're in the same.
Mainly for the bird.
I was going to say, although if you had to take people who were involved with tag teams, I think number one all time would be Frankie McCaw, rest in peace. Big Gap,
Obviously.
everybody else.
My
Damien
favorite
the Snake.
person.
Yes. So we had Jay Lethal defeating Cash Wheeler in the main event. Of course, to sort of set up this whole story that we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. 'cause
Finish
that
was such dog shit.
What do you mean, Kate?
It was awful.
Why?
Because everybody looked really dumb,
Okay.
especially
It
Cash
happens.
Wheeler.
Well,
It was a bad finish.
Cash Wheeler is dumb for getting in the ring with Jay Lethal, not knowing what's coming for him.
With a dumb finisher to boot.
What, the lethal injection?
The superfluous handspring injection? Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Kate. I mean,
I know I
there's
can
lot
deliver a
of-
stunner, but why don't I slow myself down in the process? Get out of town!
but there's a lot of superfluous moves out there.
Real quick, guys. Before anything, I just want to shout out. Greg Cherry said, "Hello, lovely people. Hope your day is going well." Everyone, Greg's going through a time. Go support Greg's show. He's had me on. He's tried to have Ann on and had real life issues at the time. Had to dad things. And I know Kate has rescheduled a couple times, but he's trying to have her. So he's a friend of ours and he needs your
He's
support right now. So
awesome.
go support his show.
Hell yeah.
Can we do a group thing on Greg Cherry's show?
He's tried. It was just hard to schedule.
Let's schedule a way out and we can make it happen.
Hell yeah. Let's
I'll
do
be right
it.
back.
Greg
Ryan, you
Bowles.
got to reset something on your computer? Okay.
Yep, I will be right back.
Okay.
Oh, God,
So,
this
Kate,
guy
as
with
far as
back issues.
but as far as superfluous fucking finishing moves, I mean, the lethal injection is not the only one.
No, but it slows you down going into the move. It's silly.
Oh, I think it's all about the torque and why the
Gotcha.
boom? Why the boom?
Because you know it's all about the.
All right. I guess you're right.
You said, I think it's all about the. There's one answer to that question.
You're right. I set myself up for that. You are correct. But yeah, I mean, Rampage is what it is. It was on at 6:30, just trying to get eyes on the prize.
It's so dumb.
I just don't understand what they think is going to be happening on Saturday nights. Like, if TNT or TBS is okay with these numbers, then that's fine. This is just bonus time for them. You know what I mean? But
Well, I think it will help to have consequential programming. Nothing happens
Yeah.
on Rampage. And I think you underestimate our Lord and Savior, CM Punk, and what he'll be able to do.
nothing's confirmed yet.
The thing is, but I actually do feel like Saturdays will be better because I feel like Saturdays, maybe I'm just old, but like are usually busier during the day, and at night you have a little breathing room. Like when they were doing Saturday pay-per-views, nobody was complaining. And I feel like Friday, it's just like it's the end of the week. Nobody wants to care. Like everybody's just DVRing it and eating dinner and whatever.
Well, and most importantly, let's not also forget that Saturday, Saturday.
It's all right for fighting.
Saturday, god damn it. Saturday.
I didn't know
night
you were gonna
fighting.
do the full thing.
Why wouldn't I commit to it? Slonomite has a question. Do we think this AEW streaming on the Max app will help? Is AEW even streaming on Max?
I think pretty heavily rumored at this point.
It's rumored, of course.
Yeah, I think it will help. I think the most valuable thing that you're gonna get is probably somewhere to put a catalog, right? Like, there's nowhere to just go back and watch old episodes, really. So I think that'll be really, really helpful.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it'll be good.
I think. Oh, sorry, Kate. My video cut up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think that once they can do something with streaming on Max, it'll help to have that catalog, like you said. But I don't think like putting anything like when NXT used to be on the WWE network, and it was the thing that got you to subscribe, sort of. You know what I mean? Like you can't see it anywhere else. Like I think if they did something like that, it wouldn't help them. But if they're just gonna put it up like, I don't know, 3 days later,
If they
sure.
build the pay-per-view cost into it, I think that'll be really, really helpful. It's good.
Well, we will see. But I can say this: Rampage is just gonna rampage, and then the other thing that we really have to talk about in our special segment of the week is, as you guys know, we sort of talked about it, Ryan and I, last week or the week before, that it was sort of like unofficially sort of like slid in there like, hey, Elevation, this is it.
Yeah, they just did like a best of, right?
Right. And the description on like Fight TV or wherever for international basically said like on this final episode. But like they never came out and said anything. And then there was the rumor that Dark was following in suit. But again, nothing official was said. And then I think poor Ryan found out when he went to live tweet on Monday that there was nothing there. It was a live episode, or it was a best of or something. So with that being said, we do have a very special moment that we're going to take. We do have somebody here who is simply listed as in mourning.
Good evening. I thank you for this time to prepare to say my eulogy for.
My bad. Hold on. Go ahead.
For Dark and Dark Elevation. My hat is kind of slipping, and I apologize. Friends, just so everyone knows, I'm prepared. Friends, family, gathered loved ones. I thank you for coming to cover the lives of two truly wondrous things that have ever existed before. Ever existed. Sorry, I'm so emotional. Before I begin, I'd like to read a quote by Maya Angelou. Precious jewel, you glowed, you shone, reflecting all good things in the world. Maya Angelou. Originally, this was supposed to just be eulogy for Dark Elevation. But God decided to curse me and take Dark from us as well. So now I must eulogize two things in my life. How can I properly put into words what these shows have meant to me, to us all? How can I describe the agony of this loss? How can I express the deep longing I now feel for a better time of last week? I have struggled to put into words the void in my heart. Sorry. Gloves do not make it easy. But I had to look good.
Take your time.
It's not easy for like any of us.
The two Darks were programs for the people. They brought us amazing matchups every Monday and Tuesday, featuring some of the best AEW and indie talents. They were the premier wrestling shows on Monday and Tuesday nights. I think the only proper way to send them off is to tell my personal tale with these glorious shows. It all began on October 8th, 2019. Bright-eyed little Ryan was waiting patiently for the new wrestling show. Could it live up to the hype of the new company AEW? Could it be any good? The show started and it delivered good match after good match. I'd say great. I was especially pleased with the 6-man tag match featuring Jungle Boy, still a boy, not yet a man, and Matt's favorite, Marco Stunt. This show was excellent, and I was all in. However, sorry, I jumped my writings. Back. However, AEW couldn't deliver their top talent every Dark episode. Like a Wookiee living with Ewoks, it just didn't make sense. I was worried about how Dark would continue. They continued by bringing an underused talent from AEW and some of the great names from the indies. Furthermore, we saw talent get built on Dark. Will Hobbs, The Acclaimed, Red Velvet, just to name a few. Dark became the place to see what is coming. And even better, I started to develop favorites who were focused just on Dark. I began to love Chaos Project, Diamante, Emi Sakura, Danny Jordan, Dean Alexander, and Sonny Kiss. And many, 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 many more. It was the beginning of something glorious, and I was hooked. Though Hook didn't really appear on Dark. Then AEW decided to make my life better. On March 15th, 2021, they added Elevation. It truly was just Dark on a different night, but that's all I ever needed. And for the next 2 years, we all got to experience something we will cherish for the rest of our lives. We saw jobbers become superstars. We heard Paul White gain his footing as an announcer. We heard Taz sing his little heart out. And we saw friend of the show LSG lose 6 times. Truthfully, these shows would help lead me to this very podcast I am on now. They became part of my weekly ritual. They were part of my life. And in some very real ways, these shows helped change my life for the better. It allowed me to make new friends and become part of a community I likely would not have otherwise. This podcast and our friends. Also, they let me see LSG lose 6 times. Now, I hear people say that it is okay, that because ROH is around and that AEW is getting a Saturday show, but it will never be the same. The Office was not the same after Steve Carell left, and AEW is not the same without the two Darks. We sit here diminished. But in this moment of grief, I encourage us all to soldier on. I encourage us all to go on. And as we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be Dark fans forever. Thank you.
Beautiful. It's unfortunate. It's like, it's like when you see these cases of broken heart syndrome, right? Where one husband or a wife passes away, and then a few months later, or a month or weeks, in this case, weeks later, the other one passes. This has to be hitting your heart.
I can't say much more than I said there because my heart has just broken.
He's mourning.
He is.
But I have been singing "In the Arms of an Angel"
And can you just
all week.
Can you go to putting Ryan back on the big screen here?
Yes.
There's just something so beautiful about the facial hair and the veil and the hat and the gloves and the tie. That just feels like a really beautiful way to show your respects here at this cemetery in foggy London town, it would seem.
Well, we're at a funeral, so we're at the cemetery, and I just felt I should dress appropriately for sad time for us all.
And there is a hearse in the background, so this is new. Exactly. This is fresh.
There's another one behind that too that has elevation and dark. It has elevation. That one just has dark.
Well, Ryan, Mondays and Tuesdays will never be the same.
We grieve with you.
It was something unpredictable, but in the end, it was right. I just hope we all had the time of our life.
Was that Winston Churchill? Is that James Joyce?
I think so.
Was it Longfellow?
I am devastated that this is not one of the episodes that the AEW handle has been in the chat for.
Yeah.
I am grateful that it is not. I am also grateful that these gloves didn't really fit because I was very nervous that the gloves made for a very petite woman would fit my tiny hands, and that would make me feel bad. But they are short, coming halfway down, so I feel better about that. But I do not feel better about the loss of dark and elevation.
No,
Ryan's got these tiny hands, so makes it. There you go.
Tiny baby hands.
Well, Ryan, us and the rest of the AEW fans feel your pain, and I don't have anything to play sound effects, but if I did, I would certainly play a 21 gun salute.
I think it should be a 10 bell salute, really.
Ding, 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 ding.
For those about to rock, we do salute you. Oh, wait, that's the wrong expression. I'm sorry.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah.
Close my eyes only for a moment, then the moment's
We're gonna
gone.
get copyright strikes. Calm down.
That's why
Oh,
no one
easy.
could understand what I'm saying. Because I
Easy.
sing so poorly, it can't be confused for the real thing.
Let's take off the gloves metaphorically. Whether you choose to physically is up to you. They look great.
Easy, Ryan. You're gonna get the chat going with that sexy glove removal.
This is all we
Ooh.
wanted from Sean Spears. Was
Ba, ba,
exactly
ba,
what you
ba,
just
ba,
did.
ba. Yeah.
Why don't you, since you were the loyalist, guide us through some of your like key?
I just pulled out hair.
Welcome to being a lady. Glad you could still do that while it's legal. Hey, why don't you walk us through some of the like top feuds and stuff from Dark Elevation?
And also, before Ryan, you jump to that, if anybody in the chat has any moments you'd like to call out, we will certainly bring them up. Asian Joe has already said he will miss Taz and Excalibur's commentary on Dark. That is true.
Taz and Excalibur's commentary was like two guys just hanging out. I think it was the best thing in all of wrestling. It's not like it wasn't the best commentary, like it's not Caprice and Ian Riccaboni level of actual like skill, but in
I always
terms
said it
of
was like they were on a field trip. Like it was just so much fun.
yeah, exactly. It's like just two guys hanging out. What you guys couldn't see, by the way, because I didn't know my camera would pick it up, is I made my tie really short, but it didn't get picked up.
I saw it.
Yeah, it looks short.
Good. Well, there was every feud they had was good. They had
The most Ryan
they
thing.
believe. I mean, the Brandon Cutler, Pretty Peter feud was good.
Ah, my Pretty Peter.
Before he was Pretty Peter, he was just the librarian at that point. That was excellent. And we had the now leaving AEW Leva Bates, and that's sad because she was awesome in it. Then you had Diamante versus Swole, another great feud that should have been on, not the whole feud, but the end of it should have been on Dynamite. They had weeks going back and forth. I put Diamante's name in there sincerely. One of my favorites from the show. She's hard hitting. Her style is fun. She seems like a badass. When you have a natural badassness around you, you just have to. I think they should do more with them. I'm hoping ROH picks up the slack. And then, of course, you had Joey Janela versus Sonny Kiss. That feud was awesome. First, they had the vignettes of them getting together, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, the best.
And then the feud was a lot of fun. And again, should have been on Dynamite. That whatever no DQ match they had for the last fight, I guess it was a street fight technically, was just a really good time.
That was in Newark, right?
No, that was in Orlando, I think. Oh, was it Newark?
They did one in Newark. I remember because we were there.
All right. Truthfully, I mean, I said it in there, but it was the best of both worlds. You got underused AEW talent that got a chance to shine when they otherwise wouldn't. Diamante, Sonny Kiss. Well, I mean, eventually some of them became stars. Peter Avalon and the Wingmen are on there constantly. Dark Order, when they weren't being used, or they get used, was on Dark. But you also
Hobbs was a great shout. Like, I feel like Hobbs did a lot on Dark.
Lost the headphone there. Yeah, Hobbs started out just losing, and by the end, now look where he is. Red Velvet started there losing. The Acclaim started there losing. There were I'm probably blanking. There were some others who probably they didn't intend to get over the way they did, but you just show up on Dark that much, it happens. Truthfully, as much as Kate loves them, the Ass Boys made their name in a very weird way on Dark, which is by just standing there being the best fans humanly possible. But it endeared them to a crowd. Yeah,
and the Acclaimed, to jog memories too, they started out by themselves, singles competitors, and then they just put them together.
Yep. And everybody's like, who are these? Why are these two together?
And it took off. It worked.
Unbelievably well, actually. Like that's something I said about them from the beginning was like, you would not have known they were singles competitors. Some of that is just Bowens, just like, not to take anything away from Max Caster, but Bowens is like hype man and in-ring phenomenal dude. Like, what a special combination. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer too, just from like the independent side of like, that was a nice payday for a bunch of people and some nice exposure. I feel like we were talking about TSF the other day, Ryan was and me and Waves and Curls. Like, I discovered some talent through their Genocide. Lady Frost is who I found her through the pandemic.
Mhm.
Kylan King, who's now a tag champ over at Impact, made her
Yeah, lots of
was losing on Dark. You have 6-time loser LSG, who was on
Yeah.
Dark a lot. You had CPA, you had I think GPA. I think they're both PAs.
Warhorse made his
Warhorse
made an-
was on actual TV, wasn't he originally though, for Cody's Open Challenge?
Open challenge. Yeah.
Oh, maybe
But
it
then
was, but he did
do
appear.
Dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a lot of teams that Carly Bravo, who's now with Sean Dean in the Infantry, who's actually like a ROH tag team, has an entrance and everything. He made his debut on Dark. It was nice because they weren't getting paid in exposure. They actually got paid real money to wrestle, but they were getting great exposure. I followed a lot of these people and I'll watch their indie stuff, having never seen them before. Kate brought up TSF, one of my favorites, but you have Waves and Curls Set. She said that. The Skulk, there's a tag team. Actually, someone who I don't talk about who was in a Dark standout was Teo. How does he say it? Toa Lunga. How does he say
Toa
his name?
Leone.
So,
Leone? No, that's Taya Leone. But from the embassy, he was just a Dark person, and
Yeah.
you saw him wrestle. I'm like, he has to be signed. So it's
That was racist. He was a dark person.
ooh, Ryan.
wow.
Do better.
Ryan.
I didn't think it. Kate did, but it was it's a shame. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of wrestling, and if the what I'm reading from, I think Zarian put it out, and then I think Sean over Fightful backed it up, that it's AEW did strike a new deal with Warner, and part of that deal was everything is on Warner, so they couldn't have a YouTube show getting between the two shows. They were getting like 500,000 views a week, which are not bad numbers for what they were doing.
Well, it's not like it was on a different network. You know what I mean?
Like,
that's kind of a bummer.
I agree. My hope is I don't want ROH to turn into Dark. By no means. ROH is a great vehicle. It
Right.
as it is. What I'm hoping though they do with it is, one, you can bring in some more indie talent to ROH, but actually let them have matches. Because I feel like in ROH that will have a nice flow. Like you can bring a guy off the indies, and I think ROH fans will be like, okay, I know who he is. Like if you're watching ROH, chances are you know who they are. So they can go and have a rematch. But I also kind of hope they come up with almost like an ROH Dark as like a workaround. And they put it on the ROH.
It's going to be too much content, I think, is the problem. Like, if they're going to keep Rampage, you're at, 5 hours just there?
Yeah.
With
Saturday,
Collision, Rampage, and Dynamite, like, that's 5 hours on its own. That's a big undertaking.
Well, real quick, I want to address that, but I do want to answer this question. Marky Mark, LSG lost 6 times.
So
he was on 6 times.
Right.
Yes, and he lost 6 times.
To those who aren't watching the feed, the question from Marky Mark Kayfabe was, I heard LSG was on Dark 6 times. How many of those matches did he win again?
0.
Okay.
He actually, if you want to know the split, it was 3 losses on Plain Dark and 3 losses on Dark Elevation. So he did a nice split between the two.
Oh, nice.
I do want to acknowledge that he did also lose on Rampage recently. So
he did, yes.
And he also lost his WrestlePro Gold Championship. So
that's right.
Yeah, so I agree.
mean, much like his favorite baseball team, the Mets, he's a perpetual loser.
That is
worth the dig, Ant. I enjoyed that.
That was really good.
You know, college baseball.
But
gotta love the minors. Minor leagues. Don't clip that, please.
Somebody's
a weird enough day. I'm
25.
Nope, been a weird enough day. I'm good. Thanks.
Yep. But no, I get there's a lot of content. One of my idea would be more like, I just want some way for the indie talent more than anything else to still have a chance to get some exposure. And I just don't know how they're going to do that. But I hope they figure out a way.
The exposure is something that would be sorely missed, I think.
Northern exposure.
That's why I was thinking like ROH Dark. Like, again, you have to establish. I knew I did it there. I even heard it in my head. You have to establish an ROH.
ROH.
Oh no, I heard it on the but anyway, you have to establish an ROH roster for this to work. But if you can establish just those guys, like this is ROH only, then you could do that. If you're still floating, it doesn't work.
That's right. If you're still floating, it doesn't work.
That's a very good point.
Well,
come here, pour my fucking heart out, and this is how I get treated.
Listen, me and Kate put the fun in funeral, so
It's true, we do.
that's what it is.
You were extremely serious.
We are the death of the party and the life of the funeral, as Every Time I Die once said.
There it is.
So, well, Ryan, thank you for your kind words on the passing of Dark and Dark Elevation.
We'll miss you.
Only for a moment.
It's like the 8th song that we've had. It's we're ready to move on.
Listen, I'm in a weird mood because I had to write that today, so it put me in a mood.
He's digging himself out of a depression.
Oh no!
Oh my god! All right, so why don't we do this? So Ryan can go ahead.
We can go on, but I do want to. I forgot. I do want to acknowledge the one since I put in 2 sincere things in there.
Sure.
LSG really lost 6 times.
That's
okay,
one.
3 sincere things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
LSG lost 6 times. About the talent, and the third, and it's ironic, and I don't give a show too much credit, but I do want to acknowledge that because of these 2 shows and me taking notes for Kate, I wound up on what was before the Mark order, and then on here, and that has made new friends between Matt, people I wouldn't, and then originally, and then the people I've met via the Discord and going to wrestling shows that I never went to before. So it is kind of weird. A change in my life is tied to these 2 shows. It's very odd.
It is. You had a little tip of the schlong. Like there was so much. It is fun to think about like that being kind of like the foray that brought you on here.
Do you know how bad I want to play a tip of the schlong song right now?
No, I wish we would get copywritten.
We'll get kicked
12
off.
seconds or something?
I can't.
Why don't you just sing it?
We'll put him. You know what we could do? We'll put him in the Discord. We'll.
We should put him on Twitter too.
Yes.
Oh, we can. I'll clip him and put him in the Discord and Twitter. We could tweet him out. Shit, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
What are you doing?
Oh, Ryan, you said it. Because of these shows, you were able to, sort of jump in here and meet all these other people. Well, Ryan, here's the bad news. With the death of these shows, you're now off. You're out.
Sorry.
Your obligations have been fulfilled.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you for your time. There you go.
Finally, let's get going with the show, right?
Oh my god. Oh no.
I love that you're now defrocked, but your thing still says in morning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're still at a funeral.
I have to fix all that when we go on break.
All right. So why don't we do this? Let's take a minute to compose ourselves after such a touching segment.
Please.
We'll take a step aside. We will listen to some commercials for some of the other shows that are part of the Shining Wizards Network. We'll be back to talk about Dynamite and some other news and notes from the past week in the world of AEW here on the Mark Order Podcast.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in every Monday night to listen to The Shining Wizards. If you'd like to continue to support us outside of listening, we've got a few ways for you to do that. If you shop at Amazon, go over to amazon.shiningwizards.com, do your shopping as usual, and when you make your purchase, a little bit of that purchase price will go back to support the show. If you like to wear t-shirts, merch.shiningwizards.com will take you to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, where we've got over a dozen great designs from over 11 years of professional wrestling podcasting. You can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast, where each and every week we call out your name as one of our show producers, and the more you support us, the more things that you're entitled to receive, and believe me, they are fantastic. If you can't support us monetarily, if you don't shop at Amazon, that's absolutely fine. Continue to listen to us wherever you listen to us on the World Wide Web, and make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, do all that good stuff. It doesn't cost you anything, helps us out, and we can continue to bring you the love fest that is The Shining Wizards.
What's up, folks? It's your boy, the Impact Player, Mr. Philly Ray, inviting all of you to check out the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Join us as we cover all things current in the world of pro wrestling, as well as paying homage to the old school, the Squared Circle. So listen in and find out why we are the recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting. Find us on all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast from. And as always, we are the proudest members of the Shining Wizards Network and Rant Entertainment Media.
Are you tired of being lied to every day by the mainstream media?
Do you want to know what's really going on in the world?
Do you want to make up your own mind about things and not be told what to think or say?
Then listen to Inconclusive Breakdown, a weekly anti-PC look at the world of entertainment and current events, brought to you without censorship or filters.
You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts, BitChute, and on ShiningWizardsNetwork.com.
And also, we're a proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Got 30 minutes to kill?
Come check out 30 Screams or Less, where we review a horror movie in 30 minutes or less. We cover new movies and old ones too.
We'll give our honest thoughts on the movie, good or shit, as well as a rating of each one that we watch.
New episodes weekly, available on the Shining Wizards Network and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Corey.
Come check us out at 30 Screams or Less.
G'day guys, my name is Thomas, one half of the Broadcast Podcast. With our podcast, we go back and watch wrestling events from WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, AEW, and many other wrestling promotions. You can check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast, that's TheBrokast, and you can also download all episodes on Apple Podcast, Castbox, Castro, and many other podcast apps.
You like your music heavy? Then check out Radioactive Metal on the Shining Wizards Network. For over 16 years now, Radioactive Metal has been one of the longest running podcasts. Over the years, we've interviewed some legendary metal acts, had some awesome discussions, and cranked a hell of a lot of tunes. So join your cool Uncle Snowy and his co-host Aaron for the audio mosh pit that is Radioactive Metal here on the Shining Wizards Network.
Well, the action is underway!
What's up, everyone? When on the Shining Wizards Network, be sure to check out Wrestling Night in Canada. If we're not recording another kick-ass podcast,
Or playing in punk bands.
Or recording kick-ass heavy metal albums,
then we're sitting back, we're grabbing a couple brews, and going over everything to do in the world of pro wrestling.
Because we're from Winnipeg, you idiots.
The Mark Order Podcast is the only show you need if you're looking for dedicated coverage of everything AEW on the Shining Wizards Network. Join us live on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern after Dynamite to chat along with the show. If you can't join us live, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on all social channels at MarkOrderPod and use the hashtag #JoinTheMarkOrder, because if you don't find us,
we will find you.
I'm Kevin Rowe.
I'm Al Day.
And we're a couple of down under pounders that co-host Rogue Day Dots, an action figure collecting podcast where we talk about, well, just about anything that tickles our fancy at any given moment.
We're grumpy old men, and sometimes people get on our nerves. And when you get on our nerves, guess what? You get off the lawn.
Get off my lawn, asshole! We also go on a little bit of a mission. We go back and we're grading every wrestling figure line that's out there. I'm talking LJNs, I'm talking Jacks, I'm talking Hasbros. Who doesn't like a little Hulkaplex? It's a Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production found on the Shining Wizards Network.
I'm Duke Bags.
Kevin Rowe!
And together we are the co-hosts of Your Duke and Road. If you want to hear about some terrible wrestling shows, we got you covered.
Well, we talk about good ones, too.
We're currently talking about the death of WCW.
I know what we're fucking talking about! Sometimes we get guest spots, like from the Taskmaster. I like to listen to the Your Duke and Rope podcast. They're funny guys. I like when they talk about the Nards plows. I like Nards plows. That's a good move. And I like the Dungeon of Doom. You know, sometimes I call my butt the Dungeon of Doom. Thanks, guys.
Oklahoma.
Let me tell you a little bit about my favorite wrestling podcast. All right? It's a podcast from two men. Two men, Duke Banks, Kevin Rhodes. They talk about professional wrestling. It's a man's sport. All right? And who better to talk about a man's sport than two men? Oklahoma.
And once in a while, Vince Russo stops by.
Oh, you piece of shit! If you're not listening to the You're a Duke and Rope podcast in the back with the boys, you piece of shit, I don't know what you're doing. It's, you gotta slide one in there. If you're a man, you're talking about something only a man can do. You're talking about sliding one in there. Bro, take the time to slide one in there. All right, bro, you piece of shit, slide one in there. A Gorilla Brain Wrestling podcast production that you can find on the Shining Wizards Network.
Oh man, not professional. I put up the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're back here on the Mark Order podcast. Before we jump into Dynamite, we're going to take care of a little bit of business. Want to let you guys know you could follow us on all of our socials at Mark Order Pod.
Hey guys.
Hi, Kate.
Nice to see
Sorry,
you.
I saw you waving below.
It's like me.
Follow us on all our socials. Follow us on all our socials at Mark Order Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe, rate, like, review on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And then if you want to support us a couple different ways, we have a few options. One, the free way, you can hit up our link tree in all of our social profiles and request free stickers. All you got to do is hit the button, give us your full name, your full mailing address, the country you live in, and your email address in case we have any questions about where we're sending your stickers. And we will send you out some of these nice Mark Order podcast stickers. We're worldwide, guys. We sent them to Australia, Ireland, Austria, Canada, Florida, all over, international. So we'll send them anywhere for free. All you got to do is hit us up and say you want some stickers. We'll send them out to you.
That's it.
That's it. That's the free way to support us. The other way you could support us,
Buy our shit at Pro Wrestling Tees.
boom, that's right. Spend some of your hard-earned dollars by picking up a t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees. We got a link directly to this in our link tree and our socials. But if you're just looking to get there directly outside of that, prowrestlingtees.com/MarkOrderPod, or just search Mark Order Podcast on Pro Wrestling Tees. We've got 4 shirts to choose from, 2 front prints only, 2 double-sided prints, and any of the money that you spend there goes back to helping make this show better. So thank you for buying some t-shirts, and
Thank
please,
you for being a friend.
oh my god, the songs
Hit
just don't
your song
start.
quota.
And back again.
Your heart is true.
Oh,
Your
come on.
palate
Friend and a
knows. Oh, sorry, it's
confidant.
just a banger.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
And if you threw a party,
oh my god, please.
invited everyone you knew. And you know what you would see?
What?
You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, Ryan, bring us home.
Thank you for being a friend.
Do, 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 do.
This is what we can expect television to be like with the writer's strike, by the way. A lot of people breaking out into songs. My God. Guys, I'm a bit thirsty tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit thirsty.
Oh, man. I wish
I don't
there was
really
something we could do about that.
I don't really need a pick me up, but I do enjoy some iced tea. And I'm a fan of the unsweetened stuff, and for that I really like Pure Leaf tea. Now, we're not sponsored. I just really love the product, and I'd like to talk about it. I like Pure Leaf. This is unsweetened tea. It's lemon. It's very nice. No calories, no sugar, no carbs.
Love that for you.
It's beautiful. It's not sparkling, which is good for me. But I also like their regular unsweetened. They have some green teas. They have a sweet tea. They have a diet tea that is sweetened.
Yeah, but you gotta
All the
assume that
variety.
there's a bunch of calories in a drink that's so delicious, right?
I mean, in the unsweetened, there's none. In the other ones, there are probably a few because of the sweeteners, but it's okay. You know what? Treat yourself. Enjoy it. Savor it. Like I said, me, Skinny Boy, and AntMoney, I like the unsweetened lemon. I like the unsweetened lemon. It's not in. What is going on in the box next to me? My goodness.
That's
I just had to
what
fix my camera.
she said.
Listen, I was just trying to think of a way I could have ruined that ad, and all I was thinking was like, so Aunt, how many cases of cancer is it linked to?
How many what?
Ryan!
Cases of cancer.
Just because it's not sponsored doesn't mean you have to go and bury a wonderful, organic, delicious, refreshing.
That's why I didn't actually say it. I said that's what I was thinking of if I wanted to ruin an ad.
You know, guys, I'm trying to clip these and send them out so we can get some big ad dollars pumping into this show. What are you doing?
Oh, is that what you were doing? I just thought you were talking about the authentic and genuine taste.
I am, and it's my pure love of Pure Leaf tea that no sugar,
Hey, Aunt,
Pure Leaf. Yep.
some days you're in a pure rules match with yourself.
Yep.
And what I need for that to go in prepared is Pure Leaf tea.
Perfect.
No sugar added.
No sugar added. And you know what I like to say about Pure Leaf? There's no shortcuts because at Pure Leaf, they're committed to bringing everybody the highest quality tea. Their iced teas are carefully crafted using only quality ingredients and are expertly brewed from real tea leaves picked at their peak flavor. So it's really no wonder that every bottle of Pure Leaf tea tastes so good. Again, no sugar. In this one, no sugar, no artificial flavors.
How many rope breaks in there?
I mean, 20 if you want them. But
how many open mouth kisses?
Oh, unlimited.
Unlimited open mouth kisses.
Unlimited. But I can tell you this much, guys. The word no in this case, no sugar, no artificial flavors. No is beautiful.
No,
And
it's beautiful.
It's pure.
It is beautiful.
So, guys, I'm going to sip on my Pure Leaf tea.
That's for sure.
I'm going to sip on my Pure Leaf tea because now that I've got to go back into the office and get up early and travel. I can't be sipping on Celsius. That was like a when I'm at home thing because I could get up a little later.
Sure, unless they wanted to give us money for you to drink Celsius.
Oh, I'll drink Celsius. I drink Celsius tomorrow morning.
There
I
it
mean,
is.
if you guys want me to talk about my love for Celsius, I mean, I could do something on our socials tomorrow morning and talk about how much I love the fact that Celsius is getting me through my day after a great episode of the Mark Order podcast the night before.
Of course.
And then I'll stay hydrated through the day with another product I love, which is the Gatorade Zero. We talked about that one too, Ryan. Gatorade Zero. We love it.
We did. And then we talked about Propel, which is blending into my green screen.
That's right. But it's in the same product family. And so we love it.
Zero.
God, you guys. I can't.
Oh my God.
What is that?
It's a Angry Orchard.
It is the green apple ones.
Green apple. Because Kate is sour.
You know who loves these? Tony Z.
I thought maybe Millionaire Matt.
Me and the old man. Vibing.
Oh boy. That's because you both are grumps. You're sour. You like the sour apples.
It is true.
Guys, now that we've talked about a few products that we love and are not being paid for, but hope to one day be paid for it.
We wouldn't say no.
That's right. We won't say no.
In fact, I would say yes immediately.
Correct.
I wouldn't even read the contract. I'd say sign me up and send me the check. So guys, let's talk about Dynamite here tonight.
Would you perchance like to light the fuse?
Yeah, I'm going to light the fuse right now, and we're going to strap the rocket onto the Mark Order podcast because we lead off with our 8-man tag team, the in-ring debut for Roderick Strong. So it's Adam Cole, Bandito, Orange Cassidy, and Roddy Strong versus the Jericho Appreciation Society. That's Cool Hand Ange, The Red Death, Daniel Garcia. I really wish they'd bring that back, by the way, Red Death.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, and Jake Hager. I'll say this. I mentioned it before about Mrs. Money liking the entrance music. It is great to hear Roddy Strong come out to Kill Switch Engage's what is it, the end of Heartache?
Yes.
That's fantastic. And I was also reminded that he used to come out to Misery Signals a Victim a Target in his Ring of Honor days. Man's got great taste in music.
There were a lot of people on my timeline when he debuted that heard the Kill Switch Engage and were like, "Oh my god, Punk's old theme," and I was like, "Nope,
No,
not Fireburns."
No, that's owned by the E, so I don't think that's happening. Anyway, before the match, when the JAS make their entrance, one Chris Jericho comes out behind his boys, and he is wearing his Britt Baker DMD t-shirt with her black eye on it. That's right. I'm sorry. DMD. Sorry. I forgot the gimmick. Clearly Adam Cole is not happy. He's distracted. And through the match, Jericho is continuing on commentary to mention how Adam Cole did nothing. Thank you, Kate. Adam Cole did nothing. Thank you, Ryan. To help his girlfriend. And I appreciated how Shivani and everybody else kept mentioning it's hard to do that when you handcuff somebody to the rope. And they were calling him despicable. And Jericho said, no, he's just a terrible boyfriend. Anyway, as the match goes on, Adam Cole, Bandito, and Orange Cassidy and Roddy Strong win by pinfall with the boom from Adam Cole on Daniel Garcia. And post-match, Cole, like a bolt of lightning, runs up the stage to jump Chris Jericho and beat him down. They crash through like the little part of the set there. And security comes to pull them apart. Jericho's clutching the back of his head, yelling that he's a menace, get him out of here. And we move on. Kate, let's get your thought on this since you haven't been here for a while. Let's get your take on this match.
Match was fine. It was a little much. I guess because Roddy Strong, I just want to have like a more like typical for showing Roddy Strong match. Like I'm so excited to see what he can do from a singles competitor stuff. It was fine. I'm kind of over the Jericho Appreciation Society. I love every part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. It just doesn't feel productive anymore. For me, it's starting to feel like the Inner Circle was. But they also haven't had like a true God honest feud in a while. So might just be that it's a little rusty. But this just felt kind of like thrown together. And I feel like for Roddy Strong, he deserves like a bit more of pomp and circumstance than this. Very fun to see him and Adam Cole on the same side of the ring, same side of history here. And he's just such a wonderful asset to join the company. I didn't really get to talk about that in the past couple weeks. So very cool. And match was fine. Nothing too outstanding one way or the other. What I don't need is a newly signed Roddy Strong to go like through the entire Jericho Appreciation Society. Like I don't need to see Roddy versus Jake Hager.
Yeah, and I don't think we're gonna get that just because this match did sort of, a few storylines played out here, right? Like the Jericho Adam Cole thing, which we'll revisit here sort of in a minute. But also it led to Orange Cassidy and Daniel Garcia getting into it, and now Garcia has a shot at the international title, coming up. So those two are off the table. I don't know if Roddy Strong's going to do anything with Jake Hager, but I didn't mind the fact that this was his first sort of match. He hasn't been in the ring in a while. So I feel like this was maybe the safe bet just to make sure, if there's any rust, it's sort of knocked loose and he'll move on to some other stuff. And I think we're all maybe looking to the day where Kyle O'Reilly can get back
Yes.
And we can see the three of them reunited.
My KOR.
And then
Where's the lie, Ant?
what?
Where's the lie? Get the real Undisputed Era back together.
Oh, wow.
No
Sure.
Bobby Fish. Get out of here.
But Bobby Fish, poor Bobby Fish, is just on the outside looking in.
Look, he's got like maybe
He's
6
on
months
the
left of career.
outside and he's
Oh my
looking
God.
in.
I'm sorry, kid. I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay.
Schlong, what'd you think of this match?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was just a fun 8-man tag match. It wasn't. Is it something I'll go back and rewatch? No, but as an opener for Dynamite, it was a lot of fun. And Roddy Strong. I'm hoping that Garcia and Cassidy's match is a one-off, and then the match that we get then is Jericho's number 2 at the moment, which is Garcia versus Cole's best buddy Strong, and then we get Garcia versus Roddy Strong, because that would be a banger. And then Strong can go do whatever he wants. He can wait for Kyle O'Reilly. He can do whatever he wants. There's a lot of possibilities. Kind of want to see him float down to ROH a little bit. A little history there. A little bit of it.
I feel like if you're going to have him go to ROH, you have to have a planned program because it's just so, like you should be staying there, I think, if you send him. Unless it's like a one-off for the TV title or something, I guess. But I would like to see a sincere run in ROH from him at some point.
Yes.
I mean, I think we'll get there. He's just coming in. I think they're just trying to get his feet wet, get him back in the ring, and then we'll see what happens. But, it is nice to see Roddy Strong back in the ring.
I do just want to say, too, like, having watched him in NXT and stuff, he was always, like, Undisputed Era was so incredible, and I feel like it was viewed so much as, like, Adam Cole's thing because he was the leader. But, like, Roddy Strong is a dangerous man in the ring. Like, he's going to be so great no matter how they go to use him. I think we talked about this before too, like starting to see it with Kyle O'Reilly. He had like 3 incredible matches. Like, sometimes I feel like when the leader emerges and they're as great as Adam Cole really is, the other guys get lost in the shuffle a little bit. Like, make no mistake about it, like really, really, really great wrestlers on their own. So however they choose to tell a story with them is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how they sort of roll out Roddy Strong. So,
like, can you imagine having the Blackpool Combat Club, the Elite, and the Undisputed Elite? Like, that could be really fucking fun with trios titles kicking around too.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the trios here shortly. But yeah, I mean, I think Ryan and I sort of even touched on it last week that if Kyle O'Reilly comes back, right? Now they have their little faction. You've got the Elite. You've got, like you said, the Elite. You've got, House of Black. You've got, all these other trios, sort of factions walking around. Again, Kate, we've sort of talked about it. New Japan is like king of the factions and how to use them appropriately. When you need to, you pull them together. Thank you. And then
you have Finlay lead them.
That's... If you want to pull yourself into the new golden age, of course. He's recruiting fucking Clark Connors. Come on.
Had his eye on Gabriel Kidd.
That's right.
Great leader.
Good
Don't
leader.
listen to Matt Bowman.
No, never. So, guys, moving on. We had an interview backstage with Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Darby Allin. And Jack says they don't like each other, but they've got a couple things in common. They've been there since day number 1. They've busted their ass to get where they are. They've never main evented a pay-per-view, but they're going to be in the main event at Double or Nothing after their match tonight. And Darby says that hook or by crook, they're going to be in the main event, and one of them is coming home with the title, and it's showtime. Don't know why he threw out the new catchphrase. I don't remember him using it's showtime before. Very Beetlejuicy. But,
very Beetlejuicy.
Of course, we're just sort of promoting the main event tonight. I don't personally have anything to add here, guys. We have some other moments. We'll touch on this later. So if we want to keep moving, we'll keep moving. Unless anybody wants to add. Ryan shaking his head no. Kate?
I'll just say it's kind of weird that he was like, we don't get along. Because I'm like, you're both faces, though. So
Yeah, but Darby's a dick.
It's true. He is a lone wolf. He's in a one-man wolf pack.
he's got Sting, though.
Yeah. Well, where's Sting been?
Well, stuck in the snow, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
was bad weather.
Winter has come, and Sting didn't have his snow chains.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was just kind of stuck.
Poor guy. So back from the commercial break, they're showing the tear in the stage where Adam Cole put Chris Jericho through. And then backstage, security is escorting Cole out of the building, but Jericho is continuing to shout at him and saying that he's dangerous. That's when Britt Baker shows up to yell at him, slap him across the face, tear his shirt, and leave him crying in the parking lot. So guys, here's my question to you, because I kind of thought about this, but I don't know how we're going to get there. Mixed tag match? Who's going to, like, if we do, and I don't like a mixed tag match, but clearly it's there. They'd have to put somebody from the Outcasts with Jericho, right? Because they were part of the jump. But I just don't necessarily see it happening with some of the other stuff that comes up tonight. So
you could put Tay on that side, right?
You could, but it almost doesn't make sense.
But she came over from NXT.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It was a waif of a thing, but I've seen stories stretched larger.
I'm just hoping that they're just running two stories connected in a universe and we don't have to get a mixed tag match.
Yeah, that's the hope.
All signs would point to this is leading to a mixed tag match. I don't think they're going there. If they want to give us something like that, they can give it to us on a Rampage or a Dynamite, but don't, for the love of God, don't do it at a pay-per-view. Like,
no, we're headed to Blood and Guts. I don't think that's the Plansky.
Well, we also get a Blackpool Combat Club promo. Danielson says there's a certain legend who said he was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But he didn't have the foresight to see that someone would be better than he, and he's better than that legend. And if he's not, one of the other Blackpool guys is. He knows there will be better wrestlers than he is one day, and he hopes Wheeler Yuta, the little shit, ends up being better than he is, unlike the Elite. They want AEW to be, because unlike the Elite, they want AEW to be the best wrestling company possible, and they'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. Moxley then says that they're blades searching for pieces of iron to sharpen each other, and the Elite should be grateful to be sharpened. They're not bullies, higher levels, bigger devils, and there was a time when the Elite were on the cutting edge, but he doesn't know anymore. Mox and Omega are in a steel cage next week. That hits different. 2019, 2020. It may as well have been a decade ago. Every day they get better. New tools, new weapons, and a whole new Moxley that he can't wait to show Kenny next Wednesday. And he says he's going to leave one hell of a mark. So, guys, it was announced over the last week that they're going to have this cage match in Detroit next week, which should be quite a match for Kenny and John Moxley.
Hell yeah.
I didn't have a problem with this promo. Was very interesting to hear him talking about Bret Hart.
Yeah, I think just Canada.
Yeah.
Like we're heading to some shows that way, so.
Yeah, and I think Ryan and I too were also talking with the announcement of the Owen Cup.
Sure, of course.
Maybe they will figure out a way to somehow get Bret just to present a cup or a belt or something. He obviously can't, do anything.
Well, Bret Hart's favorite present day wrestler is CM Punk, so we'll see what happens. See if you can call in a favorite.
Much like Ryan's singing, you've hit your fucking limit with the CM Punk talk.
Oh, I've got more action figures
It's a
from
limit.
him coming, buddy.
Limit.
The two of you. Anybody want to add anything else about this promo, or we'll keep moving?
No, this was exactly what it was meant to be, right?
Yep. promo next week, and we'll see what happens with this whole fucking story.
I'm very excited for the steel cage match. I'll say that much.
Oh yeah, that should be phenom. Next up, Saraya versus Willow Nightingale. And cutting to the end of this match, because it's really not, I mean, it's great to see Will in the ring, but it's not really about this match. Saraya wins by pinfall. And post-match, the Outcasts are beating up Nightingale until some familiar music. Well, I wasn't really too sure of the music, and I wasn't even too sure about who was debuting. Apparently her name was Shida. Or Shida?
Shida, you gotta, I think it's the second one.
Shida, okay. She comes running down with a kendo stick in hand. Apparently they said she hasn't been around for a while. And she's back. Okay. But the big thing here is that she drops her kendo stick and embraces the Outcasts. And she takes a can of spray paint and they hold Willow up for her. But then Team DMD hits the ring from the back side, and Shida doesn't do anything, and they turn around and see that, we've been made fools of. And that's when Shida sprays the Outcasts with the paint. It was all a ruse. She beats down the Outcasts with the kendo stick. Shida tells the cameras that she's back, and she didn't heel turn. So I'll say this, guys. The match was perfectly fine for me. I love seeing Willow. Saraya is just fine. I'm with Jesse Ozog, I see in the chat. Jesse Ozog says, my wife booed at the screen. She was excited for Shida to be a heel. I have the same take. Now, I'm not excited. I wasn't excited for Shida to be a heel, but I saw money in heel Shida because of the reaction that the crowd gave. The crowd was so into the heel turn. I mean, obviously not into it in a good way. They were booing the shit out of her, which is the reaction you want. And then the ruse completely turned it back. And I don't know. I just wish they would have let it happen because it would have been immediate heat. But I'm not a Shida fan anyway. You guys are bigger Shida fans. Why don't you give me your take on that and anything you want to say about the match? So let's go to Ryan first, since he's you know what? He's not a huge fan of the women's wrestling, I think. Oh, no, wait, that's Kate. But Ryan...
I mean, I didn't even see this. So
That's right. Ryan is a pessimist and overly negative all the time when it comes to AEW. So Ryan, let's hear your take.
So first, we'll start with the match was fun. Willow's awesome. She is over herself. I still think AEW sometimes doesn't recognize just how over with fans she is, because I think they thought she would be at best in ROH, like losing. I don't think they predicted her to be at this level already, but it was a lot of fun. Willow getting some Dynamite TV is never a bad thing, and she is a great baby face to lose because people want her to win. She has the fans behind her, so it tells a story. The aftermath, I get what you're saying. Shida came down, and there were a lot of people into her turning heel in the good way, like booing it all. However, while I want to see that as one LC photo says his wife wanted evil mob boss Shida, that is an awesome idea. Does not fit in the story. So you would do a turn now, but logically for the story, it would damage it. I think you're better off keeping her face for right now, because for the story they're telling, it fits a whole lot better.
I'm kind of somewhere in between. I think match was good. I thought Saraya looked really... this was the most comfortable I feel like she's looked. I agree with you that Willow, I think, was originally slotted for ROH. I don't think she was going to lose in ROH. I think she was going to be a champion in ROH based on where she was and left off before they shut down. But match was fine. I think the Shida thing was actually really well done. I feel like she came out wearing white, so I was like, no way she's turning heel. She's wearing white. If anything, I was like, she's wearing white because she's going to get spray painted out of this at some point. I like that they leaned into the idea that Shida could be on either side of this feud. Like, I felt like some of the storytelling of the volleying back and forth was a lot of people saying she was already an established talent in Japan. She could very well be on the Outcast side, or she could be considered like the day one talent at AEW. So I like that they kind of leaned into that. I feel like, and I haven't been as critical of the story as most people have, I feel like. A lot of people have been like, let's get moving with this. I think some of the enthusiasm for the potential heel turn spot was definitely authentic, but I think there were some people that were A, just like, oh my God, Sheeta's back, what's she gonna do? And B, really excited to see something fucking moving along with the story, because while I haven't minded it, it's been a while since something actually developed out of it, really. And I think ultimately people really like Shida and want to cheer her. So I don't think it's a terrible idea. It does feel inconsistent with where they kind of left off with her, because she was, I guess, but at that point, Toni Storm was not heel yet, right? So that's actually kind of fair. So that is actually more consistent than I initially thought. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm glad that the story is moving along a little bit, because I think people were waiting for like those pieces to come together a little bit more.
Little bit of a left turn, guys. This came in from Asian Joe. We're going to go with Ryan first. FMK, respectively, the Outcasts.
Be very careful here. I do not need to get in trouble.
Why would you get in trouble?
Because people are weird. Ruby's awesome, so I'd want her. I'd M Ruby. I think a K is Saraya, which leaves F with Toni Storm.
Say the words, man.
No, I'm being smart on this one.
Kate, you want to go next?
I have a very similar one. I would marry Ruby Soho. I would K Saraya, but I would fuck Peter Avalon.
Oh, come on.
Wild card, bitches.
I'd have Toni Storm. She's a babe.
I would I'm gonna kill Toni Storm.
Oh, R.I.P.
Doesn't do anything for me. I'm gonna marry Ruby Soho. I think we have some similar musical interests that can make things a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be careful how I say this, because I don't want this to get clipped. But I am going to
Peter Avalon.
No,
just use the F.
I'm gonna F Saraya, because based on history, seems like a good time.
Fair enough.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We're going to move on to the House of Black promo. I definitely want to talk about this. They say the trio's titles are tainted, and they serve as a reminder that in this company, some people get away with murder and some are punished for following the rules. But change starts with when people act. And welcome to the open house, because they say there's no shortcuts, no escape, no mercy. Any three competitors can challenge for the titles under the following rules. 20 count on the floor at the ring. No rope breaks. Disqualifications will be enforced or not at the request of the challengers, because that's the only way to truly make it fair. And that is also when Julia Hart says, welcome to the open house. So guys, I like this twist on the trios titles. I almost feel like if they did this for the House of Black, great. But I would almost hope that they continue this with these titles and make them like something different, right? Like they're sort of by a rule of their own. Like the Pure title has its own rules. So I actually really like these sort of title rules. And I love the differentiation of the 20 count on the floor, the no rope breaks, disqualifications, yay or nay, depending on what the challengers want to enforce. I liked all of this. And also the House of Black is just really fucking cool. So I like this. Kate, what do you think?
I really, really liked this. It was nice to see them back on my screen, for one. Would like to see them in an actual feud. Love the idea of this particular trio having their own style of match and one that leads to being all the more brutal. What a fun idea to have a stable that's like, this is the way that you fight us. Like, that feels like a real champion's advantage, and I love that. And they even leave wiggle room for the challengers, like you said. I didn't mean to mention, I was just looking at my notes. I know we had heard that like Sheeta took acting lessons a while back. I think Matthew Plus, of all people, who was actually being nice for a change, said in the chat, like, Sheeta, acting-wise, handled that turn really well. Like, very, very different, way more expressive, like, was able to communicate what was happening. So, wanted to put a bow on that. But with this, I love the idea that this extremely intimidating one leg in reality, one leg in fucked upness, because I don't view it as like otherworldliness too much. It's more just like scary and weird and psychotic and intimidating. I love the idea of them having their own type of match. And as an ROH fan, love a good 20 count. Love some of the stipulations that they picked here. Kind of felt a little pure rulesy. It didn't make me mad. So I think it's really fun. I'm excited to see how people choose to escalate the no DQ part of it too, because I feel like it's a really natural way to build to a no DQ blow off without having to be like, this time it's a no DQ. Like, it's just kind of like, we're going to exercise this option, which is a really fun way to go about it.
And I love that they put it in the challenger's hand, right? It's not up to the champion. It's the champions have enough ways to retain their belts. So the fact you put it in the challenger's hands, I think is completely logical, which is a lot of fun. Ryan, the rules. Do you like the house rules?
Know your rules. You better know your
Know it.
rules. You were doing it too.
You'll get eaten in your sleep.
Yeah, this is great. It makes them unique. It makes them different. It makes me think we're going to get a bunch of matches from them, which is going to be a lot of fun. The fact that they have their own rules is a story in and of itself, because someone's going to have to beat them at their own game, which I think is nice. And I like, they just seem badass, and that's kind of the best thing about it. This is a group that could easily come off comical if played wrong, and they've never played it wrong so far. So I'm very happy, and this is just, I know they've been away for a little bit, and which is stupid. They won the titles, then kind of went away, but this is a great way to bring them back. And I think if AEW is getting 2 more hours on Saturday, you're going to have to use all your talent, and this is going to be a group that you especially should use a lot of.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who the first challengers are, right? And to see these rules put into effect. But I like it. I like it a lot. And I can't wait for them to start doing it. So, guys, after this, we get our Tres de Mayo Trios Battle Royal. And it's got a ton of wrestlers in it. It's got Vikingo and the Lucha Brothers, the Varsity Athletes, the Acclaimed, the Butcher and the Blade with Kip Sabian, the Dark Order, etc., etc. And as we get through this match, because we're not going to go through everything, I would like to call out, just so you guys know, I said it in our text. My prediction was Tony Nese would be out first, because historically he's like the first person out of any battle royal.
Every time.
Every single goddamn time. But tonight, third one out. So he's moving up in the house. But at the end of this match, it comes down to Daddy Ass and Anthony Bowens versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. Eventually, Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed do win by eliminating Butcher, Blade, and Kip Sabian. So a nice moment for the Acclaimed. Some people think maybe this gives them a route to the trios titles. But yeah, I mean, clearly with the new rules they just put in place, anybody can challenge at any time. So I don't know. I know one thing's for certain. Ryan, you know as well as I do, this was Kate's favorite thing ever, because she loves seeing Daddy Ass in the ring. So story tracks. He likes to kick him. He likes to stick him. He likes to do a bunch of other stuff to him. Sniff him?
Loves to love him.
Loves to love him. Who doesn't? Kate, what did you think about this battle royal?
What the fuck are we doing?
They're filling time on TV. It's Tres de Mayo.
your numero tres. How many fucking 55-year-olds are we gonna have? Eating up
55 of them?
primary television. Ay. I do not need a sincere effort as a trio from Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed on my screen. This is so dumb. No. Nope. Don't need it. I get it. It's super over. I don't care. There are too many really good talents that are not 20 years past their prime. This is stupid. Give Butcher and Blade someone. Give me my wingman. Give me Iron Savage as the third. Do something with the talent that is young and growing and good instead of putting Jeff Jarrett, Billy Gunn, Dustin Rhodes all on my television at the same time. Enough.
Schlong, she didn't want to say it, but I can read between the lines. She wished that it was Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and, maybe Sanjay in their place. She won't say it.
I think what she really wishes it was the Ass Boys and Billy Gunn.
Oh, even better. She won't say it, but we can read between
the lines.
She won't,
but we can read.
That's right.
I was gone for 2 weeks.
I would point out Butcher and Blade have a third. It's Kip Sabian. He was there at the end with them. I was really hoping they would win. I was hoping they would win. I was hoping they were going to use the numbers to justify why Butcher Blade and Kip Sabian would win. Because I just think they need a run at some point. All three of them deserve it. The thing I'm hoping that comes out of this Battle Royal, and I don't know if it will or won't, is that for the exception of John Silver's last elimination, the QTV eliminated Reynolds and Evilist Uno. So I'm hoping maybe we get a mini feud between them. I know it's not a lot, but it would give Hobbs something for a minute because apparently they got nothing else for him. And I want to see Dark Order have some matches. Though Dark Order, specifically Stu, is tied a lot in ROH right now, so there's that going on. So
yeah.
I mean, personally, for me, just for this match, it was a battle royal, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Still don't understand why some of these luchadors are going to the top rope in these matches, but
You know who we all met? And they were on the top rope in a battle royal, Ant?
Who?
0-6 loser, LSG.
Oh,
at our first ROH road trip.
That's right. 0-6 LSG.
That's right.
Pour one out.
That's what happens when you go to the top rope at a battle
could have got
royal.
to 7. There was more Dark. He would have got to 7.
It's true. He really would have made it.
Owen lucky number 7. Guy Sammy Guevara gets interviewed backstage, but before he can answer anything, MJF rolls up, all smiles to talk to Sammy, but Sammy says he watched the show last week. Nobody was in that car when he pulled away. He said the car was full. Nobody was in that car. But a tearful MJF says he's got back problems from carrying this company on my back for so long that he needed to lay down in the car, but he was afraid to tell Sammy. And he's a bad friend, and he's truly sorry. And he goes to walk away, but Sammy grabs him. MJF has a sly smile on his face, and he kisses MJF on the forehead, saying everything's fine. He totally gets it. MJF says he got their themes mashed up for tonight. And Sammy's so excited he goes to shake hands, but MJF says, no. Friends don't shake hands. Friends hug. So they hug, and we go to break.
We know best friends hug.
That's right. Best friends. So, guys, another sort of little wrinkle here, right? Because we're clearly leading to this match tonight. MJF is trying to make sure Sammy's on board so they, can win and that he doesn't have to go into a fatal 4-way. And it seems like poor dumb Sammy buys another one. And I don't know. We got one more segment to talk about this if we want to hold anything.
Yeah, let's wait.
I just want to say something. I need to make a correction for my own eulogy. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about how Kate pointed out that LSG lost one match on Rampage. So he's 0-5 on Dark. I'm sorry. He's 0-6 in AEW.
Do better, Ryan.
I'm sorry. I was so distraught at what I was writing about that I just couldn't take it. And I'm sure he would have gotten to 0-6 with the opportunity.
Does that include the tag match with Lee Moriarty?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if there were separate divisions or anything.
I just went to cagematch.net and saw the 6 and forgot that one of those was Rampage.
No, take the credit. Be like, I know all this off the top of my head. I don't need a resource to bury Gio. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he was winless. I just didn't know how many losses.
Ryan, just call him a loser.
Well, have you seen the jacket?
The L for LSG stands for loser. Loser St. Giovanni.
He is a space cadet. And yes, I have seen his jacket. I think he's missing 3/4 of it for some reason.
That's correct, yes.
Guys, Kenny Omega and Don Callis have a promo backstage responding to Moxley. Callis shows off that scar on his forehead. Thank God they didn't show another image of them pulling it open. But he says he thinks about it every day, and Mox's heavy hands can't beat his brains and Kenny's talent. And Omega says there's no planet in this universe where John can touch him, and he might make Kenny bleed. But at the end of the day, everything comes to an end. In Detroit, the effort will be fruitless. What they did to him and the Young Bucks and to Don, they made it personal, and it ends next week. So again, building to this fucking cage match. They don't need to do anything else to build to this. I mean, just announcing it was enough for me. I was like, I'm in. Sold.
Hell yeah.
Guys, we see Wardlow in action against Logan Easton LaRue, I believe. That was quick work.
Dark.
What's that?
He's been on Dark and Elevation.
Not anymore. Basically, it's quick work. Wardlow wins by Powerbomb Symphony. Post-match, he calls out Christian Cage and demands that he and Luchasaurus accept an open challenge for the championship here and now. And Christian Cage and Luchasaurus do make their entrance. And Cage says he could send the right hand of destruction to the ring, and if he wanted to, but that's not going to happen, especially in Baltimore. And especially because he wants the title shot himself. It's his, not Luchasaurus's. We go to break. So, I mean, I'm just going to say, guys, in what world does Christian Cage beat Wardlow? Clean.
Maybe in the world of the Gap.
Boom.
Because he had Gap Zaddy look. And I feel like Wardlow is less Gap now that he has no man bun. So if it's in the Gap, Christian wins. However, I think they're setting up Luchasaurus versus Wardlow here. Wardlow will probably beat the shit out of Christian. And then Luchasaurus will either come in for the save or be enraged that he treated his friend like that, blah, 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 blah.
Do they have to enter the Gap, or is it okay if they fall into the Gap?
It's preferred. It's preferred they fall in.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Of course.
Ryan, does a Christian Cage Wardlow TNT Championship match do anything for you?
I like Christian Cage. I've liked this run. I'll watch. I'm pretty sure for those geeks out there that Luchasaurus is a Pokemon and he's in his second evolution, and Christian Cage is a trainer, so everyone get that. I'd also point out Logan LaRue, the same number of losses on Dark and Elevation as LSG.
A lot of losers over there on the Dark Elevation.
That's right. Game, respect, game. Guys, back from commercial, maybe one of my favorite segments of the night. Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh roll up to the chicken farm and help Mark Briscoe with chores to make up for their attempt to help him in the ring. Jeff Jarrett is sorry, before I get to the end here, one of my favorite parts is Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh in overalls with no shirt on. And when they say they're there to help with the chores, Mark hands his baby to Satnam Singh and says, "Let's go to work, boys." And then one other part that was fantastic was the baby they put the pencil behind the baby's ear and stuff like that. But at the end of the segment, Jeff Jarrett is playing his guitar. They ask for one more, and he says, "I got one more you guys might know. It's called With My Baby Tonight." But Papa Briscoe rolls up, and they all scatter. And as Papa Briscoe has a heart-to-heart with Mark, he says, I know you know Jay Lethal for a long time, and he's okay, but he doesn't trust the rest of them. And Jay Lethal says that he's challenging him and Jeff Jarrett are challenging FTR for the tag titles at Double or Nothing, and asks for tips from Mark since they fought them. And Mark asks him, "Is that what this was all about?" And it kind of sort of ends right there. I thought this was a lot of fun, for anything, just going to the fucking chicken farm and seeing Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt in overalls and seeing these sort of ulterior motives from this team. But I know one thing, Ryan. Kate absolutely loved this because she got to see her favorite tag team in the history of wrestling.
Spending my days working hard on the go, put the hands on the clock.
Now you're recycling the same songs.
I haven't
now
sung that
it's
tonight.
lazy.
I haven't sung that tonight. What?
Ryan can't wait to sing his favorite songs on the podcast tonight.
Damn straight. This is a great segment.
We don't need to sing it every time.
Kate,
We don't need to sing it every time.
What'd you think of the segment? Forget the singing.
I don't even know her anymore.
I know.
It's gross. Okay, it's enough. Enough. We don't need to enable singing that song over and over and over again. Okay?
Song's fantastic. It was a hit.
It's tired. We're done. We're moving on.
What did you think of the segment?
I actually thought the segment was pretty alright. Satnam singing overalls is objectively amazing. And the whole Briscoe farm thing is just, that's a blast. I'll take it.
Schlong.
It was great. And he actually didn't get to say the full name of the song because obviously for getting in trouble. So it's just as he got to the end, that's when Papa Briscoe walked up.
Yep. But it was funny. He's like getting ready. He's got the guitar in his hand. He's like getting ready to start strumming. And all of a sudden Papa Briscoe rolls up and they scatter like a bunch of fucking kids who know they're in trouble.
Yeah, it was great. Like they were children again.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What was fun too is Jeff Jarrett getting up out of his chair. He's like, "Take my rocking chair, Papa."
We're only like 5 years apart, but take my rocking chair, Papa.
Take my rocking chair, Papa Briscoe.
Probably older than him.
Oh, boy. Guys, we get Rock Hard Juice Robinson versus Absolute Ricky Starks. They do get to face off without any outside interference as Jay White doesn't come down to ringside. He goes back, behind the curtain. Ricky Starks does win by pinfall with the Rochambeau after he hits the spear, which is a great looking spear.
Oh, it's such a good combo too.
Good looking spear. The Rochambeau is a great move. But post match, Jay White comes from the crowd to blindside Starks and put the boots to him. Ricky's able to reverse the Blade Runner, but Juice makes the save, and Bullet Club Gold make their retreat to wrestle another day. I didn't have a problem with this. Love seeing Ricky Starks on TV. Juice Robinson can go. The whole thing with Jay White and Juice Robinson saying this isn't over. Love that too. I don't have a problem with this. Also, Mrs. Money did make mention she loves Vacation Jay White. Vacation Clothes Jay White. And I did remind her, I said he was sort of dressed like this in Atlantic City, but Matt ran him off.
Of course.
So.
Famously.
Schlong, match. What do you think?
In like the most excruciatingly longest way possible. Did Matt run him off.
And we'll never let him forget it.
Never. What do you think of the match, Schlong?
This was Kate laughing out. Match was awesome. I mean, you got two guys who can really wrestle. Has a story built in, which I liked. You guys said this Stark spear is my favorite spear right now. I don't think anyone does it better. The lift he gets and the way he just drives people down. This is a lot of fun. I don't understand. There's not been. It's kind of died down a little bit. But at first, there were a lot of people bitching about that. What are you doing with Jay White? It's like Ricky Starks is one of their was just becoming one of their biggest stars. Like he was there for them. So it's a great first rivalry for White. I expect Jay White to win it, which kind of sucks for Starks, but like this is great. This is two of the top people going at it, and people I want to see have another feud down the road when they're both even more over in the company. I'm enjoying all this, and this was a solid win for Ricky. He didn't get cheated. He didn't lose. It builds him up. It'll build up White when he beats him. I think the whole thing's great.
Also, question, I didn't even think about this from Jesse Ozog. He says, did Jay White just rob Ricky Stark's wardrobe? Valid point. It was a very Ricky look.
Was a very Starks look. Match was great. They have really good chemistry. And I love that finishing sequence. I agree about his spear. Braun Breaker in NXT is a close second. It just depends on how you like it delivered. But I thought this was fun, and I like this as an introductory program because Jay White felt like a very big deal, and Ricky Starks should be at the top of the card. So it makes sense for like if you're going to have guys not kicking around the title or a title to do this here.
Well, I look forward to the next chapter of this with Jay White because he said this is not over. Not even close.
Ain't over.
That's right. Yes, Kate?
Yeah, I just am a really big fan of Switchblade.
Oh,
Jay White.
I didn't even say his full name. I'm sorry. Who was it?
Switchblade. Yeah, Jay White.
That's right. I'm sorry, Ryan. Who did you say?
Switchcomb.
Close.
Very close.
I think what you meant was Switchblade. Jay White.
Bam.
What worries me is just one time we're gonna do the joke, and all you're gonna hear is "Oh damn it!" and Ant like just like pull his hands down.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I just went to close it here tonight so I could redo it, I almost sliced through my headphone cord. I was like, oh, that would have been bad. I would have been like, I don't have anything else, guys. You just gotta keep going. I can't hear you.
The last time it was the two of us. You had some really good, just like Switchblade.
Yeah. Listen, anytime you're talking about the Switchblade, you gotta pull it out. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Anytime I open my boxes now, like when I get packages from with my figures or anything else from Amazon, I always use Jay White to open it up.
How would that go? Like, what would you do you have it?
Yep.
You need to slice it open.
Yep. So
Is there a middle step that you have to take?
No, I mean I just say, oh, let me use Jay White, and there it is. I think one time too, Mrs. Money was she's like, oh, there's a package, or I said to her, oh, I got a package. Can you grab Jay White? And she was like, what? I was like, Jay White, the Switchblade.
Matt just appeared.
Jay White.
Just by saying his name, Matt appears. Like
yes. And he starts and stops. He's like,
I can help with the
no. Anyway, we do get a film, a little reel about the firm deletion that's going to take place on Friday. They also mentioned that Friday there's a special start time. I don't know, 6:30 or some shit like that. Who knows? Just check your local listings.
2:00, midnight. Who the fuck knows?
Last
Battle
time
of the Belts might be on after. Nobody gives a shit.
No, there's sports. There's I don't know if it's basketball or hockey on, which is why they're doing. I think it's basketball. But they set a time last week and they fucked us. So just check your listings. I don't know what you want to tell you. And then we see Darby Allin and Jungle Boy getting ready backstage, psyching each other up.
And you should know what is on afterwards because it is the Devil's Hurricanes.
Oh, you know what? I hate the national broadcasts for the Devils.
Yeah.
Because they get
oh my god,
zero respect. Do you know?
Get no respect.
Those commentators that they have.
Don't mock me.
No, those
Kate.
guys doing those things.
I'm not mocking you. I'm agreeing with you.
You're
that
mocking
I
me.
can't stand them because I am very up on the sports that aren't baseball.
Don't make me get Jay White.
I'm not mocking you.
You're mocking me.
I'm not mocking you. I'm just very up to speed and definitely know what I'm talking
Don't put it
about.
up to your face, Aunt. Because what if you?
Oh
no! He's gonna accidentally hit the button, and I'm not gonna feel bad.
Well, it's a
Yes,
good
I
thing
would.
it's a good thing the sharp end doesn't fly out at you.
I know, but like it would pop out, and you'd have to get it in, and then your head. It's just no.
That's what she said. That's also what she said if you're lucky.
Yeah, no, I hate watching the national broadcast because that whole Ranger series, if you watched it on the national broadcast, you would have thought that, you know, you were watching the Ranger feed. It was fucking terrible. Anyway, we do get Darby Allin and Jungle Boy getting each other ready, fired up backstage, and Darby leaves the locker room as Jungle Boy is about to follow him, but MJF comes in to stop him from leaving to talk to him. He says, "Listen, he still thinks we're the two of us could be on top of the company if Jungle Boy just dropped the Goody Two Shoes act. Look at what he's done for Sammy. All he has to do is cost Darby the match tonight, and why give up a spot in the main event?" And Max says he loves Jack like a brother, but he's not world champion material, and he's offering him a seat next to the throne. Well, Perry basically he offers him his hand, and Jungle Man Jack Perry slaps his hand away and says he's looking for the crown, not a seat next to the throne, and basically tells MJF to fuck off. But Darby comes in the room and he sees them, and MJF says, "Whoa, no worries, nothing. I don't want any problems." And Darby says, "What was that about?" To which Jungle Man says, "Don't worry about it. Let's just get out there and take care of business." And Darby says, "I'll take care of it." Which, guys, made me sort of logically say to Mrs. Money, we could talk about all these vignettes, now that we're past all of them. But here's the one thing I said to Mrs. Money logically. If, in fact, nothing happened and you have nothing to worry about, if you're the Jungle Man, why don't you just say, he was trying to get me to fucking roll over, but it ain't going to happen. I want to be in this main event. Instead, he just says, "Don't worry about it," which is shadier than not actually saying what happened.
That is correct.
This is what we call sitcom logic. Literally, what they did was something out of a sitcom. Someone walks into a scenario, misinterprets it, and instead of everyone spending 15 seconds to clarify what happened, they don't, and it just makes things worse. And it's like, it's literally insane.
It annoys me.
That's every episode of Frasier.
I've never seen one episode of Frasier.
There are times when it's delightful. There are times where it's a little much.
He's a little schmarmy for me.
He is. It's really Niles is the gem of that whole.
Also schmarmy.
Yeah, but like affable schmarmy.
No thanks.
You never watched it, don't you judge?
I hear the way they talk.
So you just don't like British people?
They're not British.
You're a racist, man. No, they're from Seattle.
Isn't someone on that show British?
Nope.
Oh, Daphne is. But she's
there
like
you go.
yeah.
Oh, well.
I know someone on that show had a British accent.
Fuck me. How could I forget Daphne? Jesus.
How could you forget Daphne? She's a delight.
Delightful. Anything you guys want to add into this whole story before we discuss the main event?
No, that was a little
Also,
weird.
by the way, sorry, you both are racist. Jesse Ozog chiming in saying Irish. She's Irish, not
Is
English.
she?
You guys are both racist.
She had
Thank
an
you.
accent. I saw it like 30 years ago. I don't.
Oh, you hear what Ryan's saying, Kate? They're all the same to me.
Yeah, I heard UK is UK. Separate. But
Well, Ireland's not part of the UK.
Exactly. You're a racist.
I mean, I can say it. I got an Irish grandmother who still has the accent. I'm okay.
But you don't.
No, I'm American.
Does Ryan have an
Proud to
accent?
be an American.
I've never noticed.
Or at least I know
Not an
I'm
Irish
free.
woman.
I had no idea Ryan had an accent. No one's ever mentioned it before. on this
Fuck you,
program.
Kate and Anthony.
That is so mean. Why would you say that?
All right, what do we think about the segment before we
Hold
get
on,
into the main
hold on.
event?
I knew I was right.
No, now
I
he's just
thought
telling
so
you.
too.
No, now he's just telling you that because he feels bad.
No, she's British because she's Daphne Moon.
What?
She's Daphne Moon.
I
That's her
knew
name.
it. See, I fucking knew it. Don't you judge me.
I feel like we were lied to, and Jesse Ozog needs to do better.
Yeah, Jesse.
I'm telling a lot of
This
people
is
to
your
do better today. It's
one
fun.
warning. There's nothing that happens if you violate this warning, but this is your one warning.
That's it.
We can put him in a timeout.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
aggressive.
I can.
Yeah, but you're not gonna do that.
Why wouldn't I?
Because why would you?
Because I wield power.
Yeah, but nah.
Because I wield power. You
Absolute
have
power
a lot of
corrupts absolutely.
power, and you have Switchblade Jay White.
I'm sorry. Who do I have?
Switchblade Jay White.
Ah, half cocked.
How I live my life.
All right. What do we think of the segment?
It was fine. That was like a really big logic gap, especially before when they were like, we don't really like each other. And I was like, but you kind of do. Like, there's nothing, you don't not like each other. But you just blocked Kaden for no reason.
No, he said put me in a timeout.
Oh,
So I just did what he said.
that's funny. We're funny.
He said put me in a timeout, so I obliged.
That's phenomenal.
That's really good. I only saw the after effects, so I was like, wait,
Sorry.
that just seemed random to me.
Please, as soon as Caden's unblocked, reblock him. I
can ban him.
No.
'cause you-
I don't want
no.
to actually do it. I just
Then-
want to continue.
Then he'll
with
need to
timeout.
create a new.
We know Ryan
login.
accidentally got banned from the Shining Wizards.
Yes.
Segment
Okay.
was fine.
Let's stay on track. Segment.
Yeah, there's not like enough tension between Darby and Jungle Boy for me to buy into this. But it did kind of end up setting up the main event nicely for the story that they were trying to tell. It just felt like there were some gaps in getting there. So I didn't love the segments, but I understood like the means to an end that they had in the process a little bit.
So real quick,
Yeah.
Sammy kissed MJF, right?
On the forehead.
Jade
Did
kissed Take
No, but did
Yeah,
that not feel like a from the Godfather moment?
We would have kissed him on the lips.
I know, but they weren't going to do that. But like, I knew it was you, Fred. I knew it was.
man can
I
dream.
know you're lying to me, Maxwell. No.
Well, I mean, you know,
Probably.
maybe.
That's just what I thought. It's what I was reading into it. And then you had the sitcom moment later. I was just waiting for someone to get caught in the shower. Hold on, Aunt.
You or
had
me?
to I did it this time. I just put
There
him in timeout.
He asked for it.
Yeah. Okay, he knows what he's getting into. But yeah, all right. That was. I just wanted to ask that question and say we were enjoying some sitcom logic.
You're really like proud of yourself for your sitcom logic.
No, I that's legitimately what it is.
He's like, this is what we call it in the biz.
I'm not in the
Yeah.
biz.
He's crossing picket lines,
Jesus
Kate.
Christ,
He's
how many does Caden have?
This is
Seriously.
really fun.
All right, let's get into the main event. Darby Allin and Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus MJF and Sammy Guevara. This is the Pillars tag team match. Remember the stipulation. Stipulation here is if Jungle Man and Darby win, then this is a 4-way match at Double or Nothing. If not, then it remains a singles match versus Sammy and MJF, where we're assuming that Sammy's going to roll over and get that fat check from MJF. So clearly there are shenanigans throughout this match, cheating. I especially enjoyed MJF early on yelling that Jungle Boy is pulling his hair.
Yes.
And not the other way around. The scarf also comes into play as a choking item, something to choke your opponent with. And eventually, as we get to the end, there is some tension. As Jungle Boy and Darby start out with tension, it starts to smooth out for them as the match continues. But for MJF and Sammy, the tension builds, and eventually they break at the end. And Max berates Sammy for not doing his job. Guevara super kicks MJF. Jack Perry with a super kick. Blind tag from Darby. Coffin drop. So Darby sort of reintroduces a little bit of tension between his partner leading into the end of this match. And Darby Allin and Jungle Boy win with a pinfall from the coffin drop on Sammy Guevara. So they earn spots in the world title match Double or Nothing. Post-match, MJF is apoplectic. He would be apoplectic.
I played ape.
That's right. About being stuck now in a 4-way match, which he said he would never do. And that is the end of the show. So, guys, my take is that I thought this match was a lot of fun. The story throughout the match was fun. And we always talk about MJF being so good at what he does. I don't know why tonight was the first time. Nothing negative against MJF. This was the first time I realized MJF is maybe the best combination of all those like 80s, 90s heels that you loved. Like he did something tonight and I'm like, that's heel Mr. Perfect. 100%. Like he is just the greatest combination of heels that you love to hate, but are so good at what they do. I think this is fantastic. This is what they needed for the pay-per-view. Now we'll see what the build's going to look like, because clearly Darby Allin and Jungle Boy, the way that Darby blind tagged himself in and got the pin, like he said he would take care of business in the locker room, maybe builds a little bit of that tension and that feud between them. Clearly Sammy's pissed off at MJF. Everybody's out for themselves. This should be a lot of fun. Schlong, I'm going to go to you first. What did you think about this main event?
I really enjoyed it. I liked, like you said, the story they told throughout it was good. I think we all kind of knew what the ending would be. I don't think anyone actually expected it to not be a 4-way. Though part of me was like, I'm kind of now interested to see Sammy not lie down. Like that was kind of would have been a fun story, but the 4-way is still where they needed to go. I think it was interesting that Sammy still, for most of the match, was looking out for his own benefit, which is a one-on-one match with MJF. But MJF, being the dick he is, can't help but infuriate Sammy. And he pays for it. Like there's something to be said that MJF was his own worst enemy. And I'm glad they're building tension between Darby and Jungle Boy, because there needs to be tension. You're going into a 4-way. I want all 4 guys to kick each other's ass. Like I don't want 2 guys to be like, we're buddies and we're hanging out. Like, no, I want you all to hate each other so that someone takes home that belt. So yeah, it was a lot of, I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Catherine?
The fucking ref spots, man. It was so good, except for those. Like, there were like 4 where they were using the scarf, and the ref was like, Bryce was just talking to Jungle Boy for 10 minutes. Like, what are you even pointing out? Like, so many times up front. And I get that it was like a little goofy and cartoonish, but it like is just a shitty thing to have in the match. It's so annoying. Hated that. Love just about the rest of it. And in general, I really liked this build. To Ryan's point, I was thinking about it too. It behooves Sammy for them to have a one-on-one match as well. Whether he wanted to like swerve MJF in the main or not, that's a really fun like door to leave open. I think we were always headed to this 4-pack. I think it's an awesome idea. We just haven't seen a story built like this at AEW kind of ever, because they don't really do triple threat and 4-pack matches. And it's been a really long time. I certainly can't remember anything modern that something got built out this way. This has been a really, really, really fun build. I really like it. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think MJF retains, but at the same time, the Reign of Terror can be a give up the belt, take it back kind of thing. So we'll see. I think it's really fun. I think Sammy has been most comfortable with the comedic parts of this silliness, and we've talked a lot about him feeling lost. So I'm glad to have seen him found something that at least kind of works for the time being. But yeah, I really liked this as a main event. It felt like a main event. It's always fun when MJF actually wrestles. And answer your point about him feeling like a mix of all these different heels from the 80s and 90s. It's such a symptom of being so well studied as him. Like, you could tell that guy just is an encyclopedia and just goes back and watches match after match after match after match. There were like Eddie Gilbert-y things that I felt like I saw in there, and I know he's mentioned him quite a few times. Like, all these little pieces of different wrestlers from the 80s and 90s. That's why it's so important, like in any art form, to go back and study your shit. So really, really, really fun main event here.
Fun main event, a fun episode of Dynamite, where they sort of started, they have, officially said tonight, we're on the build to Double or Nothing, especially because the main event was setting up, the main event of Dynamite was setting up the main event for the pay-per-view. And
right.
Clearly we see a ton of other stories sort of lining up for the pay-per-view as well. So, we got a couple more weeks to build to this, and then it's going to be here before you know it. So, so it looks like we're on the road, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, touching on a couple other things that happened in the week of AEW.
Let's have me put Kate in a timeout, please. Ridiculous.
Why?
Because why not?
We already did. He came back off timeout for that one. I don't know how the other ones are still.
Yeah, I just feel like we should keep it up till the end of the show. But
oh, okay.
Live your life.
No, that's fine. All right, we'll see. I just hit it, but it won't let me get rid of them. Anyway.
They're probably like, just ban them, you idiots.
Yeah. Anyway, for those who don't know, Samoa Joe was gone for a while filming Twisted Metal. He's going to be in the Twisted Metal TV show that's going to be part of the Cock.
Yeah.
And that debuts on July 27th. There was a preview or a teaser, whatever it is, that came out. And we got a brief glimpse of his character. He will be playing the iconic character of Sweet Tooth. For those who don't know, Twisted Metal was a video game where it was like all these, cars in a demolition derby, basically in some sort of, post-apocalyptic whatever, almost like Death Race. But Sweet Tooth was a character who he was a guy who wore a clown mask and drove around in an old ice cream truck that was outfitted with, guns and all this other stuff. So we do catch a glimpse of Joe. We don't see him really do anything. They show the truck and they show the inside, and he sort of turns around and slams the door shut. But for those looking forward to hearing Joe, I believe what I read was that Will Arnett is actually going to be providing the voice of Sweet Tooth, but Joe is
cool.
playing Sweet Tooth.
That's rad.
So you catch a small glimpse. It's out there. You can catch it. There is an official teaser out there on YouTube and all over the place. So check it out. It's a pretty quick glimpse, but he looks really cool for the short glimpse we see him. The other thing we talked about, Schlong, I don't know if it was last week or a couple weeks ago, MJF had come out to commentary eating his pickles. And he said, these are great pickles. And Schlong, I believe I had said to you, man, if they were selling pickles, I'd pick up a couple jars. Well, I missed the boat because they did sell MJF pickles. They were from Kalen and Kalen. That's, I guess, the small company that makes the pickles. But they went up and they apparently were legit tasty, and they sold out. They went on sale, I guess, last Friday. By Friday afternoon, the limited stock was sold out. There were 3 types of pickles. There was MJF's Better Than Your Dill, which is a classic dill. There was the MJF's Spicy Devils, which were spicy garlic spears. And then MJF's Championships, which were honey mustard chip pickles. And I was just trying to look here too, because I believe They sold them all individually, and I wanted to try to give you a quick idea of what they were doing. Okay, so they sold them as individuals, and then they sold a 3-pack. And just so you guys know, the individual jars, I believe, were like a standard size sort of like pickle jar. I can't see any sort of like sizing info where I'm looking, but just a regular jar of pickles. They were $25 each. And then if you wanted the 3-pack, the bundle, $70. So you save $5 by getting all 3. All of them sold out. So good for Kaylin and Kaylin getting the MJF rub because they sold out of those goddamn pickles.
My
love
goodness.
MJF's pickle.
Selling ice cream bars and pickles in this world.
And don't forget some bubbly.
That's right.
I still have a bottle. I still have a bottle of the bubbly.
Me too.
Kate, New Japan announced that Moxley's been booked for LA. Sunday, May 21st at Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. John Moxley is booked for Resurgence. I don't believe there is anybody announced to face him yet, but they say he's in action, and the other talent that's or the other members of the card is Will Ospreay versus Hiroshi Tanahashi in the semifinals of the IWGP US Championship #1 contenders match tournament. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie. I don't know if it's Vakir or Vacker. I really have no idea. Willow Nightingale versus Momo Kogo in the first round of New Japan Strong Women's Championship Tournament. They will have the New Japan Strong Women's Championship Tournament final. And then John Moxley versus TBA. So for those looking for John Moxley to return to New Japan, you got it on May 24th.
I think it's really cool. We might get Mercedes and Willow. What a fun possibility.
It is possible. We mentioned it before, but some of the big news in the week was that an AEW original in Leva Bates is departing or has departed the company. She was never really big on TV, but she did a lot backstage. For those who also don't know, she was a big independent star. She was in NXT. I think she was Blue Pants.
Yep.
On May 1st, she announced the end of her contract with AEW. And she said that as of today, my contract with AEW has expired. The last 4 years have been quite a ride. I've learned so much and grown exponentially. I've seen wrestling history take place as someone who was on the team since before the first show. I appreciate and love all the crew, staff, and talent. I will cherish all our memories together. I've given my time, my focus, and my effort to the company, but now I've got to focus on myself, my future, my career. I hope you all, my friends, fans, and loved ones, stay with me through this next chapter of my journey. I hope to make you all proud no matter where I go. And she also received a few tweets from Brandy Rhodes. Brandy Rhodes saying, from day one, a fantastic CBO coordinator, the definition of a self-starter, learned as you went with no prior experience. You can't teach someone drive, passion, and determination. Leva, you have it all, and you deserve respect and recognition for all you've accomplished. Amanda Huber also said, my heart is broken for my friend. I can't wait to see where her drive, passion, empathy, and warmth takes her. So, sucks to see Leva Bates go. She was apparently pretty important off of television. And Schlong already heartbroken about Dark and Dark Elevation going. Clearly, Leva Bates leaving is like a knife twisting in his side.
That's what you get for breaking dagger. Peter Avalon's heart. Okay.
Ooh, hot?
Her hat is hot.
Don't break his hat.
Not his hat.
Break that. Also, guys, pre-sales. We've been talking quite a bit about All In London at Wembley. And the pre-sale went up yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Sorry to check the date. Pre-sale went live yesterday. And they sold 36,000 tickets alone in the pre-sale. General on sale happens Friday. There are still a lot of people who apparently are interested. But I know we've talked here about sort of like what you think it can do. Schlong, where did you tap out? Where was your number you think that they could achieve? Did you say 50 or 60?
I think 60 was my highest. I was in the 50 to 60 range.
Your highest, Kate, where did you think?
I was thinking probably like 60 to 70, like 70 being a really, really high mark, because I think that's what had been floated as a benchmark.
I think you're right, because I remember saying 70 and then seeing they also put sort of unofficially 70 as the mark. And also just some of the things we had heard from our friends, like Kratzo. Kratzo was saying a lot of people he knew in the region were booking flights, like they were absolutely going. So my question to you guys is, pre-sale.
They sold another like 13 today too. Like I think it's at 46 or whatever today.
I didn't see any updated numbers, but I know that they said 36 in the initial pre-sale. There were about rough estimates saying 60K signups for the pre-sale. Now, obviously not everybody, maybe is going to buy tickets, or not that many tickets were available during the pre-sale because you have to hold some for the regular on sale.
A lot of glitches with Ticketmaster that people were pissed about.
Well, I mean, that's par for the course these days with fucking Ticketmaster and even Live Nation. My question though to you guys is, 36 day one in a pre-sale, maybe another 13 or so today unofficially. So that would put us at 49.
Call it like 45, I think.
45, okay.
Yeah, I feel like I saw like 45, 46 out there.
Do we, Ryan, your number was 50, 60. Kate, you said 60, 70. I'm at 70. Still feel good about that, or you think it's going to exceed?
I mean, they haven't announced any of the card yet, and it's doing this well. Though I think there's a lot of wrestling fans that would just go for the experience. So I think maybe 70. I felt like if they did 70, it would be like, holy fuck. Like, that's a big moment if they did 70, and I think they'll get there. I think it depends on, like, are they going to be able to make the trios match work? That's a big one. I think if Mercedes is there, that's a big one. I think people overestimate the need for talent to be from the UK and forget how many times the WWE has come through there and how many people that are potential like WWE talents or former WWE talents could go there. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think once you see Saraya and Jamie Hayter gets announced as something official, that'll probably bump you up another 5K or so. Like I think you're going to see that number crawl. I think it's a very healthy sign and probably makes 70 very realistic for the fact that they haven't announced the fucking card yet. And you consider that Ticketmaster had issues if people are going to go buy it on the general sale because they couldn't get what they wanted on the pre-sale. That's a really good sign too. So good shit. Really good shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are just excited for live wrestling. And especially in a building like that, I think it's just one of those things where it's like, I gotta be at Wembley, for the first time they're there.
It's almost like with Grand Slam, how it was just like, oh, they're doing Arthur Ashe. That's fucking cool. I'll buy a ticket. Like, I didn't need to know what the card was going to be. I just thought this is so cool that they're going to do this at a tennis venue that's in my backyard, kind of. Like, I think it's similar to that feel.
Yeah, and I think, and I mean, what speaks to that too is like that was the first one, right? And then when the second one rolled around, we're like, we definitely got to go back. Like it was very cool and easy to do and a lot of fun. So it's like, if it works, you can just do it again, and it'll sell, But yeah, I mean, we'll see what they haven't announced the card yet. Obviously, we're still some time away, but they're off to a good start. In other Moxley news, I forgot to tie this into the other story, by the way. So yeah, he was announced for Resurgence. He was also announced for June 4th Dominion in Osaka. So he'll be going back to New Japan proper.
Hell yeah.
So he is going to New Japan. But yeah, I just forgot to mention that. So you guys know that obviously we had Cade. We talked about it last week. The Jade Taya Valkyrie match and how fucking stupid that whole thing was. But did you know that even though Taya lost the championship match to Jade Cargill, that Mark Sterling suffered a loss as well.
I did not know that.
Okay. So basically what happened is that after the match, Sterling and Layla Gray entered the ring to celebrate, but Taya shoved Mark Sterling to the corner, and that's where he suffered his loss. He split his pants.
Oh, no.
Split them.
This is a news story yet?
This is a news story. He put a picture up. He said, "I've decided to share what happened. I appreciate everyone who reached out. By checking in, as it's been a tough day. It's embarrassing to admit, but last night after Taya Valkyrie hit me, I fell to the mat and split my pants on national TV. I will not let this slide. And just so we're all on the same page here, here are the images he shared. So this is him getting shoved after he came in to celebrate. And then that's him in the corner.
That's me.
Those are the pants.
See, this is why CPA wears multiple shirts. If he had multiple pants on, this wouldn't have been an issue.
So those were the pants.
They were blue pants.
They were blue pants.
Poor Leva Bates.
They were blue pants. And also should be noted that he demanded compensation for his loss. He did send out an invoice for Taya and John Morrison. He said he's attached an invoice for repairs, and he demands retribution. I accidentally stopped sharing what I wanted to share, but he did say, I've attached an invoice for repairs that I sent to her and her husband, the real Morrison, who I assume pays the bills. This has been a nightmare of mine for years. What's that?
Rude. She can pay her own bills. She's an independent woman.
Well, he's assuming, and you know what happens when you assume, that Morrison pays the bills. But he said it's been a nightmare of his for years, and it happened at the hands of that crazed lunatic Taya. He plans on receiving justice. And as you can see via this image, here's the invoice. Billed to Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison.
$1,000.
That's the damage to the pants. Those are very expensive pants. Maybe one of a kind, Kate. 1,000 bones?
I feel like he should have said they were $100 and then charged for emotional damages, but I'm not the wrestling lawyer.
You're right. You are not the wrestling lawyer. Mark Sterling is a wrestling lawyer, and those are pretty expensive pants.
It's true.
Now I can't wait to see how the the court works through all this, right? If he has to take them to small claims court.
God bless him.
But he did too, just so you know. He's trying to get that money. He offered to represent Ref Aubrey in case she split her pants as well. He said, Ref Aubrey, if she damaged any of your clothes in the attack, let me know. I can fight for you. We're great friends, and I hate to see you hurt. And then, of course, John Morrison responded saying, I thought a lawyer would be familiar with slander, i.e. making up bullshit that ain't true. Taya Valkyrie pays her own bills and buys fashionably efficient pants. It's not that hard to find pants that don't suck, by the way. He said, ask anyone. So, we'll see what happens. I'm sure it's going to get taken to small claims court.
I'm sure.
Last thing, this is just a passing note. Did you guys see that Chris Jericho has been cast in a starring role for a movie on Up TV network?
I did, but it's not the last thing because there was something exciting that happened.
If it's about goddamn CM Punk.
No! Somebody's all elite, and they used to work at Fightful, which is exciting.
All right. Jesus Christ.
He's the administrative something coordinator, director, man.
Well, all I know is this. We'll get there. I saw. We'll get there. I was just kidding. So he's starting on a new movie project. He's starring in the film Country Heart in the role of Bones Jameson. It's a great name.
It is a great name. I honestly thought it was going to be about that he had a coronary about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I mean, that was bullshit too. But the plot of Country Hearts is described as follows. The daughters of country music and rock and roll royalty who find themselves at a crossroads, torn between following their dreams of performing or helping their father run their up-and-coming horse breeding business. Between old flames, new love, best friends, and family, they'll all need the strength. They'll all need the strength of each other to face the next steps.
Sounds like a shitty Hallmark movie.
Of course, that's what it is. Jericho did talk to Variety. He said, after playing evil priests, insane asylum security chiefs, redneck social media whistleblowers, and cult leaders, I jumped at the chance to play a nice guy for once in Country Heart. I was able to flex my acting chops and my character range in these movies, and it was a blast to play Bones Jameson, father, ranch owner, and rock star, which basically mirrors me in real life.
You can say no sometimes, Jericho.
Listen, you got to get that money.
No, you can turn some things down, Chris.
You got to get that money. The movie is apparently in pre-production to air on Up TV in the fall. The sequel, Country Hearts Christmas, has already been greenlit. It's already been greenlit. And if we get to see any of the other JAS in the sequel, who would you want to see in it?
Matt Menard.
That's my question to you.
Not even a question.
Do you need to just see Matt Menard, or does he need to show his nipples?
Duh. Not even a question.
Okay.
Get it.
By the way, Up TV calls itself the trusted network for adults seeking positive programming with relatable stories of love, laughter, and relationships.
Of course they do.
So there you go, Kate. All right, Kate, spill your news. What do you got?
So Will from Fightful got hired by AEW. It was announced that he was leaving Fightful last week. I was one of the first people to know because I'm working on ad packages, and Sean was like, hey, don't sell them for these shows because Will is leaving. But I will pull up his official title because I don't want to get it wrong.
Just get it wrong.
Cool. He is the Wrestling Administration Coordinator. So he's going to be working with live events, social media, creative, and PR. I think it's a largely, I didn't read the select article on it yet, but I think it's a largely like a continuity role. He's someone that has an incredible, just literal memory, the shit that he could like recall. He's just incredible. He's someone that I wish I was more like in this space. And he's been podcasting for 18 years and podcasting's been a thing for 19 years. So very, very, very excited for him. He spoke a lot on Fightful the past week about how he lost his job and got laid off a couple months ago. And his dream job ended up being something that was around the corner and he had no idea at the time. So very, 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 very happy for him. Nobody deserves it more. We will miss him at Fightful. He's a really great wrestling mind and an even better person if that's possible. Just a lot of integrity in that dude. And yeah, it's a good day for that guy. Well deserved.
You know, Kate, it sounds like that position may be someone who works very closely with fucking Jeff Jarrett.
And this was a happy occasion. Okay, I was happy.
That is the best occasion. Getting to work with Jeff Jarrett.
You can end the show now. That was the last of Deuce and Notes.
Schlong's not even paying attention. I can't believe he has nothing to add about that.
She was dying there when you kept bringing up that he was going to work with Jeff Jarrett, and that's the best thing about it.
Back me up.
Paying attention.
Back me up. That's the best part of that role.
I mean, we all accept that he's going to learn under the wisdom of Jeff Jarrett.
Stop putting my friends under Jeff Jarrett's learning tree, or I will
but
have
that's
to hurt
what
you.
it is. If you're involved
Switchblade!
in live events. What?
Switchblade. It's just my safe. It's my safe word to get out of anything.
Anyway, that's the end of the news and notes. So why don't we pull it into the station? Ryan, since yours is going to be short and sweet, why don't you go first today?
Every Monday into
Oh, no more dark.
You can find me at Mark Order Pod to reminiscing about Dark Elevation. I'm sure
I'm
I'll
gonna
find
do
something.
an AW Dark rewind.
Yeah, I'm gonna find something to live tweet. Maybe it'll be ROH. I don't know, but I'll find something. But Mark Order Pod, just don't be a dick.
All right. If you just miss Ryan live tweeting stuff on Mondays, just tweet at him. He's got nothing to do. He's got to fill the void somehow.
It's true.
Just don't be a dick.
Just tweet at him and be like, "What did you think of that match between Diamante and Ashley D'Amboise?" And he could just make something up.
Or just ask him what he thought about LSG's new loss.
LSG is 0-900 and
Yeah.
Ryan Dark
Fantasy booking wise, he's like 0-9,000.
Yeah, I'm just gonna that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna book LSG just consistently losing on my new Dark.
There you go.
Why don't you just fantasy book Dark?
Don't tempt me, Anthony. Don't tempt me.
Called you Anthony.
My God. Kate, tell people where they can find you.
Hey, I'm at Excite Wrestling this weekend, Friday and Saturday. So if you want to do a thing.
Shit.
We didn't know.
We didn't know because you weren't here last week. Okay. What do we want to do this time around? Friday and Saturday? So how many things you want, Kate? 2?
2 a night we can do.
2 a night. Holy
Up
shit,
to
she's
2 a
up in
night.
the ante.
Yeah.
Do we want to do something like song lyrics? Not like full lines, but like something from a notable song. It can't be like somebody's B-side, but it could be like, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or exit light, enter night. I don't know why fucking Metallica's on my brain.
We'll figure it out and we'll do a thing on Twitter.
That's a no. She doesn't want that. Okay, you can
No,
just say
I'm into
no.
it. I just want to wrap up and go home. I'm tired.
All right. Well, where else are you going to be? You just said Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday, I have an Excite Sundays. I'm on Kate and Joel Call It in the Ring on Fightful Overbooked, but I'll also be doing the Backlash post show on Fightful Select this weekend. So check that out. They're in Puerto Rico. Mondays on Select After Raw. Tuesdays doing the NXT Sour Graps post show on the main. Wednesdays right here at the Mark Order Pod. Thursdays doing the ROH into Impact post show, and Fridays sometimes AEW Rampage SmackDown and post show, assuming Rampage is ever on the same day. But you can check me out there. Follow me at Miss Kate Fabe.
I take umbrage with you saying the main as something else besides this. This is the main.
Well, Fightful's main channel.
This is the main.
Well, if we get a paywall, we can call this the main.
This is the A show of the network. Well, you can find us here every Wednesday night on the Mark Order Podcast, part of the Shining Wizards Network. Follow us on all our socials at Mark Order Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Thanks to everybody who watched along with us tonight on YouTube.
Caden, and also Caden.
You just keep saying his name. You keep invoking him.
I'm just saying he joined from like 3 different handles. Just want to acknowledge him.
Wild. Caden, Sloanamite, Jesse Ozog, Asian Joe hanging out. I think I just said Sloanamite. 1LT Photo, Pedro. You know it. A whole bunch of people. I'm not scrolling all the way back far enough. Gordon Post. So thank you all for watching us live and chatting along. To anybody who's listening in podcast form, thank you for doing that. Make sure you're liking, rating, reviewing, subscribing. That stuff helps us, even though you don't think it does. It certainly does. So please, if you could take a moment to do that. Same thing on YouTube. If you've never watched us on YouTube and you're listening in podcast form, head over to the YouTube. Check out the show on video, especially tonight when Ryan was in mourning. There is some great video that you should check out. His outfit was wonderful, but he was at a funeral. So It was sad, but it was heartwarming at the same time. So check out all of our podcasts in video format on our YouTube. If you head over there, please take a moment to subscribe. That helps us out too. Hit the like button, do all that kind of stuff. Other ways you can support us, head over to our link tree and our social platforms. You can request free stickers. Caden says he got his stickers. We know they got to Canada. I don't know if they got to Kratzo, but they should have by this point, so I hope they did. Anyway, if you want stickers, just go to the link tree, hit the button, request free stickers, give us your full name, your full mailing address, the country you live in, and your email in case we have questions about your address. We'll send you out some free Mark Order Podcast stickers anywhere in the world. By the way, guys, I believe the Mott Spock said he's stealing our sticker gimmick, and I'm going to charge him a fucking fee.
You should, a licensing fee or a royalty fee or something, yeah.
I don't like that. We'll have to have him on the show to talk about it, but don't like that.
Rude. He has to explain his actions.
Seriously. And if you want to support us financially, which does help us out on this show, you can head over to our Pro Wrestling Tees store. We got a button to link you there from our link tree, or you can go to prowrestlingtees.com/markorderpod or just search Mark Order Podcast on Pro Wrestling Tees. You'll find our store and you can get a t-shirt for yourself. We got a couple of front prints only and a couple of double-sided. Any money you spend there, portion of that comes back to us to help us put into this show for some other things. And we got some things in the works. We're getting to them. We've got some bonus content coming, right? At some point, we'll let you guys know when some form of the many men of Mrs. Money is happening. Sloanamite, I haven't forgotten about you. I'll owe you some sort of form of payment, so stay tight. We'll take care of you. But we've got a bunch of stuff like that coming up in the works. You can find Kate all over the place. Ryan's going to try to find a void. We'll figure it out next week here on the Mark Order Podcast, so tune in after Dynamite at 10:15 p.m., and we'll face the music together. So, guys, thanks. A lot of fun after a shitty commute. And we'll see y'all next week. Kate, that's the other thing. If you got ideas for things you want Kate to say, hit up at Mark Order Pod on Twitter. We'll let you guys know what suggestions we're taking. And if you got any suggestions just for other stuff, let us know. That's it from us tonight. We will see you next week here on the Mark Order Podcast. Bye.
This concludes the Mark Order Podcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Join the Mark Order.